Good afternoon from Alberta and Calgary specifically as you look at the downtown skyline. Spring is here with the flowing Bow River coming from the Rocky Mountains. On the way to the mountains from Calgary, you'll see Canada Olympic Park and the ski jump used in the 1988 Olympic Winter Games. We're just at the base of that ski hill and the ski jump in the Winsport Arena for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship 2021. It's time for the semifinals to begin, and we have both of them at the same time. Our feature game this afternoon will be Sweden against Switzerland as we determine who will go to the gold medal game later tonight in Calgary. So chance as the teams finish practice and get ready to go, we'll have an opportunity to meet the teams here in this feature matchup. The two-time reigning world champions, Team Sweden, their lead, Christopher Sundgren. Their second, Rasmus Vrana. The third, Oscar Eriksson. And the skip, this team winning back-to-back worlds, Nicholas Edin. They'll take on a hard-charging Switzerland squad trying to get to the final. Their lead, Valentin Tanner. Skip throwing second stones, Peter de Cruz. Their third, Sven Mikkel. And their fourth stone thrower, Benoit Schwartz. It was a 13-game round robin, and this is how it shaped up. Sweden and RCF atop at 11-2, so they got a bye to these semis. USA, Canada, Scotland, Switzerland all making it in. And then you see Italy and Norway just on the outside looking in. And then those three teams rounding it out, Netherlands, Korea, China at 2-11. As that shapes up our playoff picture to determine the champion here in 2021, we had two qualification games. It was the US losing to Switzerland earlier today, and back on Friday was Scotland beating Canada 5-3. So that sets up the semis. Sweden will take on the 6th-seeded Switzerland team. In the other semifinal, RCF will take on Scotland. Winners of these two games going on this afternoon play in tonight's gold medal game. The losers will play in the bronze as well tonight. So we do have two games going for you here in our afternoon session on this Sunday. Sweden takes on Switzerland on Sheet B, our feature game. We'll keep an eye, though, as well between Scotland and RCF. RCF, been a long time since they've played. As we'll bring you inside the Winsport Arena, I'm Luke Coley, joined with Olympic silver medalist Mike Harrison. We're in for a lot of fun with these four teams out on the ice.
We are. Best of the best seem to have risen to the top here, and in our feature matchup we have two very familiar opponents. Peter de Cruz and his Swiss champions taking on the two-time reigning world champions. They've played each other dozens of times over the last couple of seasons, so looking forward to this battle.
Yeah, for Switzerland, they were on the ice earlier today. They got a win in a well-played game against Team USA. While Sweden, they haven't played in a couple of days because of obviously the COVID protocols, and they've changed. You see the masks that they're wearing now as part of the protocols to make sure everyone's staying safe and staying healthy out there, which is a good sign. It's nice to have curling out on the ice.
Well, all four teams that are out here right now are thrilled to be playing. There was everything was up in the air 36 hours ago, and I think it's a bit of an advantage for Team Switzerland out of the gate. They've already played one game with the masks on this morning, and but you know, they don't have Hammer here in the first end. Team Edin, Team Sweden. There's not much they haven't seen, so I mean, this is where all that hard work pre-tournament and over the years will come into play. You know, any sports psychologist will be telling you to be ready for the unexpected, and we had that in spades over the last day and a half.
Yeah, nothing you can really prepare yourself for other than trying to be mentally strong as best you can. We know Nicholas Edin and his team trying to win a world title for the third straight world championship. It's never been done by one single team. And obviously, you look at the stone colors, red for Sweden. They got choice of rocks and then also Hammer in this first end because of that record. So Switzerland, they played way back in session 2. Seems like an eternity ago. It was a week ago on Friday that they played their game. So why not get it right back going in the semifinals?
And we saw earlier today that Switzerland happy to mix it up early. I expect a guard here from Peter de Cruz.
Valentin Tanner, the lead for this Swiss team.
Deux et demi. Assez vite, hein. Ligne OK.
2,5.
Signature.
for a tight guard, 2.5, which is 3 or 4 feet short of the rings.
Okay.
Well, we're going to see strong lead play, and both teams rely on the front end to get things set up, and both these leads top 2 throughout the week. So there's actually 0.2% difference between Christopher Sundgren and Valentin Tanner. So expect these ones to be in good position, and then you also have their sweeping ability too.
Yeah, all 8 players out here are world class. Definitely deserving of their spot here in the semifinals.
Well, no surprise with that guard to come around for Sweden.
Really impressed with Sven Mikkel all week, you know, former skip. He's been sweeping for a few years now with this team, but he's kind of got the full core activated. Very good judge of weight as well.
That's probably a bigger part, is knowing that judging of a stone, especially going up and down the ice as opposed to seeing it from the house.
Saw a couple of the sweepers gasping for air a little bit this earlier today, trying to get some oxygen in between throws with the masks on. This is obviously new with all the COVID issues we've had. But like I said, everyone's happy to be out there.
Happy to be out there, and health and safety has been the key priority and top priority for everyone involved with setting up this event and then making sure that continues throughout this final day of play.
There's a little mistake there from Tanner coming up so short, actually a double center guard on that red in the forefoot. So it's going to be a bit of work here for Switzerland to get out of a little bit of trouble. Need maybe a couple nice hit and rolls, maybe wait for a double opportunity.
Neuf et demi. Oui. Fort. Neuf.
Vraiment fort. Vraiment fort.
Neuf et demi.
Well, Valentin Tanner trying to get this one.
Okay.
Able to just hold it to make contact, but rolls out of play.
Excuse.
Neuf.
Hein?
C'était neuf.
C'est neuf.
Sitter om man har isen en halv fot nästan.
Sweden will try to get this draw a little bit deeper. Don't allow a hit and roll to the button.
Känns bättre. Linjen är bra, den är lite vidare än Krippas, men det är bra
Rasmus
linje.
Brana, second for the Sweden team,
Ta lugnt. Bara fart.
has had
Kanske gå lite lättare.
a lot of success since joining this team.
Linjen är
Used to
perfekt.
coming out of these wearing a medal.
Ja, fint. Mycket bra. Bra. Och spel.
That's perfect. That's so good. You're going to see Switzerland make a play up the middle here. If they continue to hit the wide stone, they're going to be conceding 2 points here in the first end, and really don't want to do that right away. So it's a Cruz. Little pressure on this one. Needs to make the double run back.
Well, Peter, a world junior champion back in 2010. 3-time world bronze medalist and Olympic bronze medal in 2018. Well, will they get fortunate to catch the side one?
It's a big break, actually. You know, look at now they've got a very tight guard in the rings. That's a much easier run back, so a good miss.
Make something of it. You see sometimes throughout the week you don't make anything of it, and you're really chasing. Both these teams won't want that. Got to make something out of every shot.
Det är bra om den är lite vidare. Touch off, den här var perfekt för att inte ha dubbeln. Ja, bara fart. Bra linje.
Sven Mikkel will be asked to play the same run back, I'm sure, if this gets to the T-line or better.
Dra ner den. Ja, behöver köra.
Easier shot now with only one guard to run back.
Kom igen.
Very nice.
Okej, bra. Jag kan ta en tid där så behöver inte göra det heller. Ja, nej. Jag trodde den var bra.
La vitesse, c'est comme tu penses.
On peut faire 8 secondes.
8, OK?
Ou tu veux plus vite?
On peut pas faire le double et rouler dedans?
Juste 8 en plan.
Ouais. Moi, j'étais juste méga soft, hein?
OK.
Genre,
Benoit
vraiment
Schwartz
soft.
is saying, why don't we try to make the run double and roll the shooter in? So that's the kind of, that's how they're feeling it right now.
Made a lot of those this
Oh
morning.
my gosh.
Wow. Attention, wow. Ben, un autre.
Un mot fort, Ben.
Need to make this curl. Needs to get to the center line.
La jaune, prends la jaune.
Won't get
Go, go, go.
either.
Go, go, go. Continue, continue.
It doesn't roll that shooter in.
Okay.
Oj, oj, oj.
Höga 13.
So Adine,
Kan
Team
ta lite
Sweden
till, jag fick
really
ganska
set
mycket
up for
curligt
2
när jag
here
var
now.
på träningen. Då satte jag dem
Thirds.
kant 4, sen jag mitt 8 typ.
First stone. Oh,
Pinnen är bra.
Tryck på den nu.
Oscar Eriksson in his 10th World Championship. A lot of those years, an alternate with Nicholas Edin. And actually, one year skipped to a silver medal in 2014.
Ja, längre ut. Här uppe.
for my money, he's the most talented player in the game right now. Just he makes it so look so easy.
Ja, fint. Perfekt. Mycket bra.
Comes right into the top of the 12-foot. Reminds me a lot of players. We see the rules of play. 8 ends minimum must be played. 38 minutes of thinking time given with 1 60-second timeout. Obviously, being a lefty, it reminds me a lot of former teammate of yours, Richard Hart. Just being the lefty up and down. Very quick out of the hack.
Yeah, and very natural. You know, very natural deliverers of the stone. We see that RCF game in the background there. RCF Scotland.
We'll keep you apprised of how that game plays out as well throughout this one. But first, Switzerland needs to make a double.
Excellent shot. Interesting kind of spins partially buried. So if, you know, a slight mistake here from Sweden could end up seeing a force. You know, well swept. You know, sitting on the backboards hoping for a miss from Team Sweden is not the best strategy, to be honest, but expect them to be close. So if this slips to the tee line, you'll see Switzerland try to roll to the middle and maybe set up a double for Benoit's last.
Ja, vänta då. Vänta då.
Känns 10.
Okej, bara eka då.
This is
Linjen är
not
inget
light.
problem.
Ja, den
Lämna
är
så gott vi
10.
kan.
So playing this path to the wing.
10.
Oscar Eriksson trying to weld it on the corner.
Sweepers dropping off is never a good sign.
Och så.
Okej, den är fortfarande väldigt tjock.
So not much of an angle for most curlers for the double. Those two rocks being 11 feet apart.
Je pense que le double est impossible.
But Benoit Schwartz is not most curlers.
Moi, j'avais sur 2 tiers, on va passer là, mais.
Ouais, on essaye avec 3 quarts.
Tu veux-
3
tu veux
quarters
quelle vitesse?
Pousse.
Tu pousses?
with
Ok.
some
Bah ouais.
speed.
L'autre, c'est bien aussi, hein.
He comes just flying out of the hack.
Je pense pas que c'est
For a
là.
guy smaller in stature.
C'est 34-5e.
Yeah, if you have a stopwatch at home, it'll be under 5 seconds hog to hog, and in control.
Ouais, je pousse.
It's just a sight to behold.
Ah ouais, on pousse.
4-5e, 3 quarts, tu roules par là, c'est bien.
Ouais, ouais.
Le milieu?
Je pense, hein. Ça va curler à mon avis, mais...
Ouais.
You'll see
Ouais.
hog to hog time on this one.
Oui. Ouais.
Long distance to try and roll.
4.4
And make the double?
The double.
No problem, just cross house.
Wow. Wow.
4.4 seconds on that one, hog to hog, and yeah, no problem.
Good Lord. What a shot.
He is definitely feeling it, Mike, as he makes that one.
So to have 2 exercises for the folks at home, just try to run between your hog lines in 4.4 seconds. And then the next exercise would then to be actually sweep it like Sven Mikkel was doing there. Just absolutely fantastic athleticism.
With a slider.
Amazing.
Well, that's a deuce saver. When you get into it, all of a sudden now.
Well, and like I said, that rock spinning up and in for Switzerland on that double by Sven Mikkel, Nick Edin couldn't hit it and stay, and that's going to get the force here, potentially. Edin's trying to combat it with a freeze, hoping that Switzerland will blast it out and they'll get the blank, but this needs to curl a mile.
Bak 8.
Kan vi runda?
Bak 4.
Nej.
Well, they want to try and get this to the face of it.
Great judge of weight by the sweepers to not touch that.
98 eller?
Ça, c'est un blank. Si tu prenais un quart, tu faisais ça, je pense qu'il fait n'importe où il fait comme ça.
They're looking at the potential that Edin would hit that wide yellow on the nose and make the triple for the blank. That's what we're level of skill we're talking about here and level of respect for your opponents. You know, I think you just let him try it, personally.
You'd love to see him playing that one to try and blank facing 2.
Just hit a little on the outside and all of a sudden
Franchement, je sais pas s'il va l'essayer, mais
could give up a steal of 2.
Ouais. C'est dur, hein?
I can't imagine Edin
je
would
pense
try
qu'il
it.
aura plus le blank si on fait ça, je pense.
And do have the overheads on every sheet throughout round robin that everyone can
Même
see.
4/5 dedans, ça va
Looking at
aussi.
all the angles, and this is the one he's trying to get rid of, that red stone sitting in the 8-foot. Benoit Schwartz threw a rocket on his first, made the double.
8,5.
C'est bien. Oh,
Talking about trying to hit and stay to lie 3, hoping that Edin will definitely draw, but makes the double.
Bien, Benoit.
I think it's important to stay ahead. I can't imagine Nick playing the blank, but I said this morning, I've been wrong so many times on these when the teams get super aggressive, but this is the right call. Make sure you get your 1, and you know, you worked all week long to have the advantage of last rock in the first end. Don't give up that advantage by trying a crazy shot here in end number 1.
So that one's just full 8-foot that's counting as shot stone for Switzerland right now. They have the biter on the other side as well. Need full 8-foot or better. And Sweden start this game with a single point. And the ice has been very consistent and solid all week long.
It's been perfect. 14.5 is what they're looking for. Maybe even a touch quicker than that here. 14.7, 14.8.
The sweepers will tell you if it's close. Just the light dusting, normally a good sign.
14.5 right to the button. No trouble.
So a single point, Sweden gets 1, but a great force by Switzerland on the double by Benoit Schwartz. 1-0. Sweden leads after 1.
Skulle lägga där att Krippas 13-9 var ju topp.
Bravo, Benoît. Ouais. Benoît a bien joué dans sa haine, je trouve.
Joli soir.
Ouais.
Je joue 14-2 ce con.
Ouais, c'est quand même lent. C'est comme ce matin, c'est vraiment plus lent.
Ouais.
Nära.
Ja.
Welcome back to the second end of semi-final time. The BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship 2021. First end started with the centerline guard. Sweden had an advantage, and then it swung on a double by Benoit Schwartz.
Vi får nog ner den till nära faktiskt.
Bra linje ni har den.
Yeah, looked like it was going to be easy 2 for Sweden. And small mistake coming deep on the draw by Oscar Eriksson. And then the bullet from Switzerland from Schwartz. 4.4 seconds hog to hog.
Une pierre devant le logo, c'est bien.
Absolutely incredible.
Just the
shot.
accuracy.
Well, that's the. I mean, there's a lot of people who can throw it that hard, but Benoit has this easy extension and just comes firing out of the hack.
Ok, elle est bien, très bien.
Saw a couple of those shots in the last game, the round robin. Same speed, hit and roll, a foot dead buried behind a center guard. And just makes you shake your head. Admiration for the talent.
They've definitely brought the level of curling up in the world, and they make it look so simple.
And Edin's much the same. That's, you know, give credit. Been watching Benoit for the whole day so far, but Nick Edin's certainly capable of the exact same type of shots.
On a great pair for Sundgren to go in behind. We saw a slight miss early in the end by Valentin Tanner in the first.
Juste 10, point court.
9-10. Ouais. Juste 9. Ouais. C'est assez bien.
Try a little tick shot here. We'll try to roll behind the corner.
Fort pour pas prendre nose. Yep. Oh.
Well, there's one that will tap on that front. Not exact result, but smooth result here on the delivery for Valentin Tanner.
Yeah, technically very sound. I like that little extension he has at the end, and most of the top curlers in the world will keep their throwing arm just a little bit flexed. If they're sliding a little too quickly, you won't see as big of an extension. Sliding a little too slowly, he gives them a little bit freedom to adjust the speed as they're coming out of the hack.
And a little different, he doesn't have the back swing per se on the delivery, just straight out.
Yeah, and he's throwing mostly guard, so you know, no need for him to bring the rock back too far.
Krippa är med och håller ut den lite. Ja, krippa hela vägen. Den får inte börja curla för tidigt nu. Typ där du visar nu. Precis, lite kort om det. Räcker där, tror jag. Räcker där.
With that slight miscue there from Tanner, not rolling his guard out of the way far enough. He needs Switzerland needs to clean things up.
Avec la jaune,
How about Vad Pedersen, the coach of this Swiss team, honestly familiar in European circles wearing the Norwegian colors, but still has some red on.
Yeah, the Norway pants. I think they actually have a pattern in the pants that matches mask. Team Ulsrud, a big crowd favorite at just about every event they play in. So that team retired a couple of seasons ago, and Havard's gone on to coach. A pretty good pickup for Team De Cruz, I would say, Team Switzerland.
Yeah, adds a lot of insights there and experience. Try and run this now, go off the side one.
That's a couple of, I'll call them lucky breaks from Team De Cruz. Peter De Cruz himself especially. Saw that run back turn into a slash. We had another one here. That was not the intended call.
Knowing there was an option for this one if you were a little bit tolerance to miss it that way.
Can't be good, be lucky. That's the line. If the more I practice, the luckier I get. Heard that from a number of top-level players of many sports, actually.
Well, and you're not going to go the whole week without getting some breaks go your way. So,
well, we even saw it right up to the last game, last rock against Team USA today. Last draw attempt by Benoit Schwartz really wasn't the call, but it ended up in a spot where the US had nothing left.
A nice roll. Sweden to roll right in behind.
Going to try to hit that top red as thickly as they can. Move the back one deep and try to stay in front of the top red. Backline weight.
One more crack.
Quiet hack. Tanner's got to keep this straight. He's diving at the guard.
Yeah, reaction from Peter De Cruz. It was, I don't know if it grab something, or he just never gave it a chance?
Okej.
That was user error, I think, Luke, on that one.
Hake. Ja.
Peter struggling so far through his first 4 shots.
En halv sten
Ja,
till.
jag skulle säga att jag satte den en halv fot utanför kast, men inte så.
Dryga 6 fot om den är mitt fram.
Fredrik Lindberg, coach of Team Sweden. Of course, another familiar face in the Scandinavian countries. Of course, longtime teammate of Niklas Edin, and then after the 2014 Olympics, became team coach.
He's a furious note taker back there. He's got spreadsheets and slide rulers and whatever you need back there to get the team ready to play. Looked at one of his Excel spreadsheets. One time we were coaching against him at the World Juniors a couple of seasons ago. I said, what have you got going there? Went right over my head.
Ouais. Oui. C'est ça, c'est déjà là, c'est bien.
Ouais.
So the guard's out there, maybe a little longer than Sweden had wanted.
C'est peut-être le mien, non?
Si c'est possible, oui.
Ouais, ouais.
Looking at a backline tap, same shot.
Ah ouais.
Not taking much more ice, so that would indicate that Peter may have turned his over. Sven was getting his intern curling earlier today as well.
Oui!
12. Ouais.
On s'est mis 12.
Attention. Ouais.
Attention!
Ben. Ben.
Benoît!
Va, Ben.
Ben trying to make this curl.
Well, got it around the guard now. Want to try and get as close to nose.
Oui, 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 oui. Go, go, go.
Gets that one out of the rings.
Shooter just bounced open a little.
They're hoping to try and stay partially covered.
11.75 nu. Den tryckte ju ut med 2 träffar, men det var inte med jättemycket. Så det är något sånt höga 11 och typ. Ja.
Ja, det är 12-0, ja.
Ja. Hur känns det? Ja.
Sweden really doesn't have to miss this that closely either in order to get to the nose
Försöka trycka ut.
if they throw the right weight.
Höga 11 då.
Ja. Bra fart! Ja, 11! Höga 11! Med, med.
Japp!
Japp.
Wow! Japp! Wow!
Höga 11, sarg.
Try and get to the inside.
Lite inåt.
Little roll.
Japp,
Bra.
japp.
Fabulous.
11-1.
Okej.
Avskjut boys.
Ja.
Fint. Nice.
Bra. Fint. Bra där.
Skippat.
Bra.
Japp!
Japp.
Wow! Japp! Wow!
You don't see the call anymore with the lips, but you can definitely see it in the eyes and the focus and determination, knowing what's on the line in this game. Looking for a run back. We'll get nothing. So Sven Mikkel can't make that run back.
Jag tycker det. Den ska hänga ganska långt ut. Det känns som det kommer rejält mycket från sista
Through
biten.
the first couple of ends, Team Sweden's middle of their lineup is certainly outplaying Team Switzerland.
Det känns som samma fart som den
Schwartz factor was the difference in end number 1. So Nick Edin's going to throw a guard, and I expect a big weight run back coming from
Nej, det är inte.
Benoit on his first.
Inom en halv meter från det. Ja.
Well, we've seen this delivery a few times, and obviously with a draw shot, the broom out to the side, where a hit, it's right near ice level.
Ganska mjuk så att
Jag tycker det känns nära. Där. Nära.
So putting the guard out in front,
linjen är bra.
Sweden leading this one 1-0.
Nära, nära.
Ja, det räcker där med både fart och köl tror jag. Bara stanna. Mitt på linan är det som gäller.
Ja, den är
Bara
nära.
stanna. Jag tror det bara sitter Anna. Bara stanna.
We'll keep an eye on the other semifinal. Scotland, RCF, they blanked the first. RCF starting with the hammer in this one. And 3, possibly 4 counters in there for Scotland right now.
It appears with that ice they're throwing a big weight hit and roll in. Is there a triple there for more than one?
Don't know, because I don't know whose 4th shot. There's one right underneath of Dmitry Mironov in the house. So they could be lying 4, so I don't know if the triple would get it for him.
Definitely want to hit this somewhere near the nose to keep a score of 1 as the limit, and
That should do it.
as he's done all week,
Comes through.
Glukov with a great shot.
I take a look in there. The indication 1 RCF. So they're on the board first, leading 1-0 over Scotland. Scotland putting the pressure on in that second end.
C'est un petit 3/4 avec le out.
Non, non, venons in. In? Ouais, ouais, 4/5e in.
Would have been real tough to try and bring those other ones into play. Have to throw a rocket.
Ouais, déjà, même
Well, as good as these two teams have been, you know, if you had to pick one MVP for the week, for me, it's Sergei Glukov. He's just been absolutely
un tout petit peu plus que
spectacular
3/4.
Ouais, exact.
all week long.
Un peu plus.
So here comes another rocket from Benoit. Try to get all three of those reds moving.
See the extension trying to run this one in.
Oui, 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 oui.
Well, kicks him out off of the center line.
That'll simplify his life on his next.
That was a slow shot. It was 5.5.
Oh yeah, just easy peel.
Oui, 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 oui.
Just had to sweep it, would have made it.
Den är jättegimmy. Ska han ut vitt, det här är inte kul. Halva åt foten här kan ni sopa för.
It's an opportunity to get the force back. How do you try and put the pressure on? There's the 4-foot open now.
Ja, det är bra.
Well, two options. You try to you could go around to the side of the button, partially buried behind that red that's there, or you block the path to the out-turn draw. There is no in-turn draw, so if you can manage to keep your stone
Sista delen skulle kunna gå lite trögare så.
maybe a foot from the center line, full 8 foot, would force a tricky draw for Team Switzerland. Key is the sweepers putting it in a spot where it can't be hit and get shot stone and try to block the path.
Gå lite i rallen, men full 8 är precis max.
That looked warm for me out of the hack, but
Precis full
we'll
8
see where it
rallen.
ends
Den
up.
är rätt så bra. Perfekt linje. Precis full 8. Ser lite... Ja, ni har den. Precis full 8. Gärna curla lite nu.
Trying to slow up. This looks pretty
Curla
good.
lite. Ja, 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 gå nu, gå
So
nu,
there's
gå, gå,
the
längre,
that
längre,
blocks
längre.
the path right to the button. So it's always slightly trickier when you have to cross the center line to make your draw. So that's the challenge here for Team Switzerland.
Or you go out real wide to try and keep it on the outside of that.
Right, and look at the amount of ice that they're taking. The other thing worth noting, and we spoke about this morning in their win against the United States, is that they throw less rotation than many of the teams out here. So their rocks curl much more on draws, especially than do their opponents. So they actually have very similar ice to what Nicodine just took, but they're hoping it's going to curl a full rock more. That is a tricky port to draw through. They're going left of that stone that's at the top of the 8 foot.
So the last here for Benoit Schwartz, facing 3.
Attends un peu si on peut.
Minimum. Non, non, non.
Il faut attendre.
Sweeper saying
Il faut
minimum.
attendre. Un peu là. Sven, il faut attendre.
OK.
On est sur la rouge.
5.
Enlève.
5.
Balle commence. Il faut vraiment que ça curle énorme.
Well, they have to wait for the line, make sure they're by the front.
Allez, 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 allez.
Now they got to get to the 4-foot, get it past. Just get by. What a great line call to get that one to the 4-foot.
Allez, les gars.
I was nervous halfway down, but I imagine the sweepers were feeling the same. Heck of a draw.
Yeah, use the sweeping to get that extra curl. Valentine Tanner gets that one across the face. And we're all tied up 1-1 after 2.
Den där höga garden och det är lite lurig ändå. Den blir bra väl när de måste börja skjuta. Att den är så hög.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Possibly.
I was really worried about that ice.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I think you'll get let. Yeah, it will stand straighter longer.
I mean, the weight was really almost without tipping.
Perfect skip, perfect swept. Thank you. Good well.
Ok, relax.
C'est de réussir une pierre. Ouais, moi, je suis relax, mais
Non, non, je dis pas toi, je dis nous tous.
Ah ouais, c'est
l'équipe.
Ouais.
C'est clair. Non, je dis on est bien.
Ouais, c'est bien. Spielen.
Spielen, ja.
Ja, exakt.
än de flesta matcherna. Liksom.
Jag håller med.
Ja, mycket bra jobb, boys.
Mumbai.
RCF tar poängen i andra.
1-1 the score. Sweden, Switzerland. Two teams not surprised with one another. Very familiar foes out on the ice. We're here at the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship 2021. Luke Coley here with Olympian Mike Harris. And so far, Sweden sort of has controlled things a little bit. But for Switzerland, it's a 1-1 game. You have to look at it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden's got to be going, well, we've controlled the first couple of ends, but we're not winning. So they'll be thinking, well, just keep doing what we're doing. And Switzerland's be thinking, well, it's only going to get better for us, and we'll be better off. So we'll battle of wits right now. The skips have been able to make their last.
Probably some nervous moments and some nails being chewed by Swiss fans on that last draw by Benoit Schwartz. But was able to make that shot, and here's a miss from Christopher Sundgren. Touches the guard.
Yeah, just Benoit Schwartz has been able to pull his team out of the fire, so to speak, here early.
Un peu maintenant. Oui, maintenant. Oui, maintenant.
Il est bien assez.
OK, wow. Ligne bien. Ligne parfaite. Ça cœur assez.
C'est bien.
OK, oh.
Bien vitesse. 5. Full
Parce
8.
qu'il y en a pas le trop. Non, 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 non.
Full 8.
Non, lutte.
Trying not to have this over curl into the open. Pretty good job. With the rock curls, they should be able to get through that port and move the yellow back.
Jag tror det går att trycka igenom faktiskt.
Okej, jag tycker det viktigaste är att den här blir kvar här. Ja. Fart, bara hack då. Ja. Genom till hack där någonstans kanske. Ja.
Not the biggest port in the world, but it's doable. And you heard Nicodine say, and if it over curls a bit and ticks the guard, wouldn't be so bad. Like that. Open up shot stone. Have a few guards around.
And of course, the 5 rock free guard zone rules, so nothing can be removed yet. Peter de Cruz and his team trying to get over that hump, win this semifinal game, and get to a gold medal matchup. They haven't been able to get there at the World Championships before. 3 bronze medals for de Cruz and an Olympic bronze medal. They lost the semifinal to Nicolas Edin in 2018, 9-3. Well-placed guard, and with a win in this game, Switzerland, Peter de Cruz would be the Olympic team for Switzerland. Otherwise, they lose. They have to play a challenge event to determine who will be the team to come out of Switzerland to represent in Beijing next year.
That's right, Team Schwaller, also excellent men's team in Switzerland. Rasmus Frana can bring the heat as well. Another guy that throws it under 5 seconds hog to hog.
Well, we're now at the end trying to maybe clip the other yellow. Misses the run back.
Put your track shoes on to play on either one of these teams, Luke.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to try and be up and down with them.
Good news is you don't have to sweep for very long.
It's true. You just have to keep up.
Just get a couple licks in and call it a day. Guard in the same spot would be nice. About an inch across the center line is about right. Maybe over curl a hair. It did. There's a port there if they want to take it on. Small little error.
Ja, den kändes bara typ som bak 8 i slutet.
Ja, jag tycker inte det spelar så stor roll vart den här tar vägen. Det viktigaste är att vi sätter den här gömd, så måste de spela något.
Jag tror inte jag kan.
Behöver mer fart.
Ja, annars kommer jag bara ligga kvar.
Okej.
Well, you see there the amount that's available.
Kör sarg idag eller något. Garden är typ inte
I think a rock will
spinter
fit
där
through
med
there.
sarg så är det för tjockt ändå.
Not a ton of room, but it's the rock will be curling the right direction, so probably miss the top one by an inch and still make the shot.
Ja, lite mjukare
Doesn't
än
sound
min
like
här
much to the club curler, but for these guys, that's plenty of room.
Ligger lite vidare.
Ganska
Vänta
mycket
lite.
tid. Gå.
Sarg just nu.
Med.
Och
Med.
rent. Japp.
Just waiting for when it makes that move. Look at that great look as that one comes in.
Drive a truck through there, Luke.
I wouldn't want to.
No,
On se mil här tror
skinny
jag.
truck.
Exact.
Okej.
Tu prends Val?
Same thing here.
On se mil, ja.
Again, Swiss taking just a touch more ice than Team Sweden had.
Un poil plus.
Wow.
Oui.
Attention. Ouais.
Oui.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Attention.
Ben,
Ben,
Ben.
Benoît. Ouais, ouais. Bon. Allez,
Wow,
vite.
wow. Wow, roule, roule, roule.
Well, now they're trying to get a little roll on it.
C'est très bien, c'est très bon spot.
Nice thing is for Switzerland, Dean has to play the different turn or play the run back here. So, and the port is much narrower playing the other turn. You can see that high guard.
Nästa skulle vara få den där lilla
Just very difficult to play the other turn
stickaren
through that
någonstans
port.
i boots är ändå ganska öppet för ettan så.
I don't know if you could have made this much better with the way it curls to make the roll.
Just maybe an ounce more weight. Could have rolled a little further.
Yeah, there's a look from the other end. Tough to see that, so no surprise seeing Oscar Eriksson play this run back.
Whoa. Whoa. This one.
Trying to come up a little bit to remove that, and we'll peel it out. But they'll be disappointed they don't stick it.
You say a little bit of a miss there.
Oui. Det känns som det går rakt.
And a chance now for Switzerland to go around their own two yellow guards out front.
Faut pas moi, moi je suis 14 fois, ça va s'arrêter aussi.
Je pense qu'il faut ça pour arriver là. Ça cale vraiment
He's not happy.
Très bien.
No, when he plays it, all these players, they expect to make it and stick that stone in behind.
Pensez assez vite. Ligne pas mal. Allez pour 5. Un peu de place.
Tout seul. Parfait.
Ligne bien. Easy, easy.
Voilà. 5-6. Wow. Non, ligne
Ligne, c'est bien. Benoît devant. Benoît devant.
Bien.
Juste 5. À vous, les gars. Si on grignote le
Ligne
4
parfait.
pieds, c'est bien aussi.
Line's great.
Allez.
Trying to get this closer to the forefoot.
Bien joué, Sven.
No, not quite touching the forefoot.
Parfait. Kan vi köra?
Nowhere really to hide here for Team Edin. That's the problem with that stone stopping in front of the tee line. Nick's looking at the triple. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Hit the one up near the center line first.
Go over the top of the second one.
Okay.
Got the right guy throwing it.
Jag tyckte min gick rätt bra rakt här.
This will have some heat on it as well.
Yeah, just nice, easy release there from Oscar Eriksson.
Yep.
Want to try and get all three real close. Get them all?
Nice.
Wow.
Varsågod grabbar.
Just playing trick shots now, Luke.
Missed the first one so we could make that.
Fantastic.
Lite hjälp på den så den fick med krallen den första. Bra.
Just, they make the game look so easy to make that, to see it and then make that.
As I said, Oscar's just this incredible talent. But all 8 players out here have the shots.
Jag tycker det känns som is som man vill göra det.
Phenomenal.
Sank.
Ligne, ça va être proche.
So quickly in here, the third end of a 1-1 game.
Sank.
Juste 5.
Trying to go around the guard here.
C'est pas large. Ligne
Just
bien.
out of
Va devant,
respect
va
for
devant,
your
va caresser.
opponents here, yes, you want it in front of the tee line, but do not bury this 100% because if you do, Edin can play the straight back and save a shooter dead in front of shot stone. So it's open just a little bit. So Edin would have to hit this on a little bit on the outside, play the run back, and that may create a blank.
Kör vi det. Så, en 7. Sen till utsida då. Ja.
It's an opportunity, like you said, Mike, trying to run this one back. First couple ends with Switzerland going after these runbacks. Now it's Nicholas Adin's turn.
And you see that rock not perfectly buried, so that will force Adin to hit this a little bit on the outside in order for his back one to stay.
Well, one last look up at the boards to see all the angles where they want to put this. We'll slide over as well to keep an eye and see what's going on, and that's a lot of red over there, Mike.
In front of the tee line as well, and RCF looking at coming in off their own. Otherwise, they could give up 5 or 6.
And this is Sergei Glukov, his final stone without hammer. So he'll need to make these. This is where he's made them all week long. He's bailed his team out.
I don't know where he can go here where he's actually safe, though. He's going to try to go way around to the back of the 4-foot, buried in front of these stones at the top of the 4-foot, which sounds daunting, but he's been so good all week. He'll be close.
Already his best finish at a World Championship. Would love to play for gold, but this one comes down.
Just absolutely warping in there at the end, and that is a fantastic shot. And to hold Scotland to a shot for 3.
Yeah,
I hate to say giving up 3 is a good thing, but it's a very good thing here on sheet D.
Our feature game, Sweden-Switzerland, Nicholas Adin made the run back but didn't stick the one in the house. So another chance to come around for Benoit Schwartz.
Just got to get this buried. This time you don't mind being completely buried. You don't want to leave Adin an easy shot for the blank. And they're going to get the force here.
Force him to draw for 1. And Scotland's Bruce Mowat has to hit 4-foot to get a 3rd point. And a good hold for 3 for Sergei Glukov.
What a great shot from Glukov. Absolutely been a one-man gang out here this week. Just been so good. This is giving Scotland a great opportunity here. So take control, early control.
Well, and Mowat put the pressure on in that second end, got the force, now gets the hammer and continues that strong play.
Well, certainly late into the round robin, you have to look at the way that Adin and Scotland were playing. Those were the 2 teams coming in playing the best. Switzerland's latest game this morning, they're on fire as well. So we've got 3 teams playing great.
And that was 3 for Scotland, so they get the 3-1 lead after 3. Nicholas Adin needs to bite the 4-foot to get that single point, take a 2-1 lead.
Looks good.
Sweepers like it, just guiding in, making sure nothing happens. To the 4-foot. 3 singles so far in our feature semifinal. Sweden, Switzerland, 2-1. Sweden on top.
All right, check it out. Ok. J'aime bien la garder le tic après.
Moi j'aime bien aussi, ouais.
Ouais, c'est bien.
Essayez fin pour avoir une tirée de maison.
Ça dépend. Ouais, il faut que le roule soit quand même assez réaliste.
Ouais,
oui. Il faut rouler de 3 mètres.
Ah non, bien sûr. Ouais, c'est clair. Ouais. Avant c'était un peu limite, mais on pouvait le faire avec un 5e.
Mais oui. Bon.
Mais c'était mal joué. Je pense que ça marche même.
Ah ouais, non, tu peux faire un truc bien.
Putain, ton t-shirt, il est juste... Adieu.
Je pense c'était presque impossible de rouler caché.
Avant, je pense pas.
Oui, mais c'est mal joué. Donc, lui, il a de la shit. Lui, ils ont annulé les chaussures avec le blog.
Ils ont quoi?
Je peux pas acheter.
Bästa matchen, någon som har varit liknande.
Lite trögare på den här sidan.
Ja.
Alltså min 11-7 där, den trycker inte mycket mer än till hacket.
Nej.
Och ens det liksom.
Welcome back, the Winsport Arena. Sweden, Switzerland, no strangers to one another in these semifinal games. They played a number of times, and Sweden has had the upper hand. Switzerland trying to turn tables, but it's all been single points so far. Luke Coley here with Mike Harris in the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. Both semifinals going on at the same time here this afternoon. And then the gold medal game and bronze will both be played tonight. Switzerland hoping for their third game in the day to be a gold medal game.
Yes, no kidding. If they make it to that game, fatigue may be an issue, but the old story, you'd be happy to suck it up for one more game.
See these numbers for both leads. 92% for Tanner throughout the week. Slightly behind, 0.2%, pardon me, behind Christopher Sundgren.
What's that, a freeze that didn't curl enough? One of the games, something like that. It's pretty small margin.
Yeah, in the 13-game round robin, you have one that bounces off a little. One tick shot that didn't quite work.
Känns som det är samma fart. Okej, håll i den då. Ja, börjar bli tight.
Knappt att vi får förbi den.
Nej, den är tight också. Kan nästan få en guard här då.
Come rounds coming up light here, so
Okay, bra bedömt.
throw in a double center. Those are too close together, though. You'll definitely see Switzerland move those when they can after the fifth rock of the end comes to rest.
They'll want to try and use the corner guard.
Weight's good, line's good. And Dean cannot remove that yellow guard until one more rock is thrown this end.
De kommer vilja slå så, då kommer den draga lite, kanske runda så.
We see how much it curls. We've just seen the ice surface has been great, and these guys have been working around the clock for almost 2 months now in the curling bubble, and curl to the outside, curl to the inside.
Just, it's been ideal. You know, really, at the end of the day, you couldn't have hoped for more as a player. We're seeing late into games the exact same draw weight as we're seeing here in the third, fourth, fifth end. So
Rasmus Brana, 89%. Top among seconds through round robin.
Linjen hänger lite just nu. Kanske lite längre än vad vi vill. Ja, vill de inte ha den längre än så fall de ska gå på den vill vara dubbeln. Hänger väldigt vid. Oskar måste snart. Full fyra nästan. Ja, måste nu. Mer än mitt på linan, Ogge. Mer än mitt på linan. Mer. Fortsätt hela vägen.
you're going to see Switzerland deal with that middle now. Just a question of which side they want to hit it on. 2/3 on the right-hand side of center, it looks like. Try to roll for a double corner guard.
Ok, ça marche. Il ne devrait pas y avoir énormément de drague. J'ai juste peur qu'avec le in, elle aille pas très loin la première là, mais c'est sûr. Je veux dire.
Just trying to figure out which turn to throw.
3/4, 2/3. Ouais. Très bien.
Is that going to get a different reaction?
Yes, so if they hit it on the, as we're looking at it, just on the left side of center, with this turn, you're getting a ton of action on that back stone. Will be spinning quite aggressively.
So watch how it'll go and get them all.
Fires it out. If they threw the other turn, the back rock would have had the opposite spin and had trouble getting it out of the rings, actually. So the teams practice this all the time.
Non, je sais pas. Hein? Ça a pris vraiment presque 3/4, mais
Will probably take the end away with the shooter rolling out of play. That was the error there. You'll see Sweden make this double peel, and we'll have nothing to talk about for a few rocks, Luke.
Well, we've had a lot so far in the game.
Yeah, we need a little rest.
A break for all of us.
Head to the fridge, grab a cocktail for the last couple of rocks of the fourth end. I'm conceding the run double to Rasmus.
Well, try to make this one, and we'll tick it. Does he get it out?
Oh.
He spoke too soon.
That's a fairly major error. So Switzerland can really get these stones 11 feet apart now, and it's almost what you need at this speed to not get that out after making contact is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, that's tough to leave that one. You saw Oscar Eriksson was actually sweeping to try and get it to curl enough at the end. But that speed, how much you can actually do.
Right.
D'accord. C'est juste pour savoir si je joue 14, je veux pas non plus que ça traverse.
14-3, c'est parfait pour tout.
It'll be interesting to see once this rock gets to the other side, whether Dean decides to play some sort of freeze to allow a blast and try to figure out a way to get the blank here. Still 4 rocks to come yet.
Yeah, trying to claw and find a way to get out of it.
Well, much like Benoit did in the first end with that cross ring double, Nicodine's going to need something similar here if Switzerland can make their shots. So there's a good start for Team Switzerland. Perfectly across.
Splitting the house here, 4th end.
Vilken fart gillar du? Är det dryg normal, 8 någonting eller? 8 låter bra.
Chief ice technician, Greg Olasco, has been a busy man, and I think he heads home for a few days after this.
He is looking forward to a well-earned rest.
Him and his team have just been, like I said, working tirelessly and just been a fabulous job creating the surface so we can see the shots that we've been seeing in this game and all through round robin.
You know, we saw earlier in the first end, Nicodine not able to play a hit and roll on his first because of that. If you recall, Sven Mikkel's kind of made a spin double rolled half parried. So Sweden doesn't have that same opportunity here. There's no other rocks in play. So if Switzerland can just hit this on the nose, there's only going to be 3 rocks left in order to create some sort of angle for a double. Sven Mikkel, first things first, he has to stay. We'd like to roll a little bit to the outside if possible.
This. Oh, no. This in me. No. Ben.
Whoa. Ben.
Ben.
Stop it. Whoa.
Trying to make that curl, and he did. Need to curl too much. They're trying to roll another 4 or 5 inches to the left, but really not a lot to see here. You see Nick looking at the nose hit. So if Sweden can make a nose hit and then you assume Switzerland has a nose hit, then there'll be an angle for a double for a Dean.
Ja. Kanske jag försöker vicka in den på linan. Bak 4 typ. Ja, kan vi ligga här är det ju riktigt svårt för dem att undvika en dubbel. Vilken fart ser du nu? Kanske lite mindre än den, men jag tycker ändå den är liknande. Den var 8-6, 9-0 kanske. Okej.
But nose isn't the end of the world on this.
No, I think one or the other. You try to roll all the way over near the center line somewhere, or you hit it dead on the nose, one of the two. What you don't want to do is roll, you know, a rock or two to the inside and then Switzerland just roll back to where it was.
Lite mer än förra.
One or the other.
Will want to stick around. Can't afford to roll out, then they can replace it.
Correct.
That one will for Oscar Eriksson.
Great opportunity now for Switzerland. They can, we need this right on the tee line.
Ça va peut-être accélérer un peu avec le balayage d'avant, mais...
C'est nature.
Ok, easy.
Attention. Très bien, vitesse. Non, c'est bon.
Easy.
T-line, hein.
Ah.
Regarde. Ça colle bien, hein.
À vous les gars, ligne parfait.
T-line.
You know, là.
So trying to place this one in a good spot. Don't want to leave it too much of an angle.
Right on the tee line is what they want.
And absolutely perfect.
It couldn't have placed it any better.
Ça accélère un tout petit peu.
Ouais.
Par rapport à la tienne.
Exact.
Parce qu'on a défoncé là.
There's not a whole lot of angle to try and play.
I think the best that Dean can do, if he hits and rolls all the way over to the edge of the 8-foot on the right-hand side, he'll probably be, you know, a foot or two deeper than that stone. That's probably his best bet, right there. And there might be an angle on his last off that wide yellow.
normal.
Yes.
Well, Nick was 85% throughout the week. You said Mike started a little slow, but started to turn it up a notch Tuesday on.
It's the thing coming in here. Most of the teams, we really weren't sure how they were coming in. By the time you get to April, usually you've seen these teams play, 50 to 100 games. Coming in here, they really hardly had anything.
Well, now when they lost, they weren't really close on it with the sweep, and it rolls out.
So ideal opportunity now for 2 for Switzerland. Anything near the tee line will be good enough.
Ouais, faut qu'il y ait un peu de distance au cas où, mais. Fine.
So we'll look in Scotland, RCF 3-1, Scotland leading, and Scotland line 3, multiple redstones again.
Looks like they're hitting, which is a bit of a surprise to me. Need hit and stay. At this level, the draw is a much easier shot when the ice has been perfect. Doesn't take much to roll out here.
Got to stick around here for Sergei Glukov right on the nose. So a single point, 2 singles by RCF. They trail and give the hammer back to Scotland 3-2 after 4.
Perfect start for Scotland. Give them 1 with the hammer, get 3, give them 1 again. Now they've got last rock and the lead heading into number 5, and not even Nicholas Sedin or Benoit Schwartz could make this double. Luke.
No, I would say this is not a possibility.
This one's pretty safe. Go out on a limb and say they're not going to make this one.
Yep.
But you'll want to make a play on it, force Benoit Schwartz to have to play yours. If something happens, he hits, rolls out, make him make a shot to score 2.
Correct. Right, I hit this right on the nose. But the smallest of errors by Rasmus Frano on his second stone, leaving that nibbler over in the wings, was the difference here in end number 4.
Just leaning, actually hopping a little bit.
He gets right up on his toes, and that is how he gets the most leverage down there. His full body weight on the head of the broom. Very unique style, but you just imagine you get up on your toes and leaning right onto the...
Just hopping along almost.
It's extremely difficult to do what he's doing with the amount of pressure he's putting on the broom. So Team Switzerland getting rewarded here, Luke.
Yeah, have this open hit, needs to hit and stick for Benoit Schwartz. Take advantage of the miss. Benoit had an up and down week, but trying to get to this final, and out of hand, Valentin Tanner.
Here's Sven Mikkel. Very, very hard go.
Well, on a great sweep, they hold it. He can let go the last little bit and enjoy the deuce they put up. Hit and stick, and Switzerland with the first 2 of the game. They have their first lead. We're through 4 ends, and it is a 3-2 Switzerland lead here in this semifinal.
Ja, vi har haft lägen.
Молодец, Антон.
Hey, last for me, Bruce.
Som det ser in.
Direction light, be good. Yep. Whoa!
Right off.
Wings good.
2,5.
Grant.
If we're rolling out, roll right out.
Right on the nose. Hard, Grant. Very good.
Go, Ali.
Okay. Ça curle énorme.
We are in Calgary, the Winsport Arena, for the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. Semi-final time will determine a world champ later tonight. Both these teams trying to get to the World Championship final. Sweden looking to defend their two-time consecutive championship. Obviously with no Worlds last year. It would be 3 straight. No team has ever done that. Been countries, Canada's won 3 in a row, but never a single curling team trying to win Sweden's 10th world title.
And Nicholas Sedin is tied with some pretty famous people with 4 as well. The Richardsons, who are in the cardboard cutouts here somewhere.
In the craft.
Won 4 world titles back in the 50s, early 60s. And Randy Furby's got 4 world championships. That's his Glenn Howard. So Nicholas trying to become the first 5-time champion. Got a bit of work to do yet. Got to get seize the lead back here from Team Switzerland.
Yeah, and Switzerland played earlier today. Weren't sure somehow if it's an advantage or you're used to playing a couple games a day, and Sweden hasn't played since Friday afternoon, so it's almost 48 hours since they were on the ice.
Yeah, it was, as we talked about, it was crazy 36 hours anyway following that Team Canada, Team Scotland quarterfinal matchup on Friday night, and weren't sure we'd be here today, but we've been treated to some great curling in this playoff. Both rounds so far.
Yeah, 2 good playoff games so far, and it looks like we got another one going. Good first 4. Missed by Sundgren, coming up short on his first. Now he's going to try and freeze on his second.
So, and number 5, we'd be happy to either take 2 here, Nick Sedin, or get the blank would be nice. Get the hammer into end number 6. Teams at this stage of the game would start thinking about trying to start to control the scoreboard, have the hammer in those even ends. And conversely, Team Switzerland would love to force at the halfway break. They would be tied with the hammer. Would have taken that away from Sweden.
2 straight games for them, did that against the US earlier.
Exactly. It was 3-3 through 5 ends earlier today in that quarterfinal qualifying game. Cruz looking for the freeze.
Ok, ligne bien, vitesse. 4, c'est parfait. Ligne bien. 4, très bien. Balle devant. Non, 5, c'est trop. Balle devant. Oh, 5, on n'est pas dessus. Oh. Ligne. C'est parfait. Non. 9. Laisse mourir. 9. Très bien.
Just maybe a hair heavy, didn't curl to the face.
The dreaded bounce off on a freeze. You never like hearing that as a thrower. There's room there for a Dean to get to the inside. Rattle those around a bit. Let's go look at it.
Probably doesn't mind even if they touch that red out in the open on the other side.
Yep, squeeze it half open on the right-hand side and keep your shooter right on the nose would be ideal. With their big weight run back ability, even rolling buried would be fine. And you'll see them change gears.
Ja, håll igång. Ja. Järnet. Helt okej. Hårt för gadden. Hårt!
Trying to hold this line. Just touch it.
Just like that? That's what you talked about, wasn't it?
Looks like exactly how they wanted to. And they had a game against Canada where they were down and then came back, scored 3, got a force, and then scored 4 to win that game. Rasmus really set up those threes. He made some great taps, double taps, and roll behind corner, and that's a great shot now.
Peter Cruz going to play the wide freeze, try to get to the nose of that red on the right-hand side. Wouldn't mind nudging it a couple of inches, unlocking the red-yellow freeze that's in the forefoot. They're saying short. Sven Mikkel saying top 12 at best. Maximum tight guard. Peter Cruz struggling in this one so far. Number of misses.
And the overlap could come back to haunt him later in the end.
Jag kan nog till och med komma upp på chapp med en bak 12.
Jag vet inte om det är bra att göra det dock.
Han kanske var på trippen eller?
Good luck up the ice here for Tanner and Sven Mikkel. Trying to give your effort, but also realizing you got to keep some in the tank for a game you're going to play later tonight, no matter what, win or lose.
Halvfryst är helt okej också om vi inte får linjen först dess.
Challenge for Dean right now is the angles out front are a little challenging to get at shot stone. Still have 5 rocks to come though, so they're going to kind of set things up here with one more, as you said, with Rasmus. I'd like to have this stop top 8. Even corner frozen on the outside of the red that's in the rings there now.
Just to make sure you have a good angle to use this one later, hopefully.
Well, then you really, Switzerland starts guarding for their life. You know, they're be a very uncomfortable situation for Team Switzerland. Just announce heavy again. But a lot of pressure here on Switzerland. Edge on edge. They want to get to the inside.
Alors, juste 8. Ouais, 9. 9? Ouais. 8, 9, ouais.
Back 8-foot weight is the call. Try to skitter in there. It's a Kevin Martin term. Luke,
skitter in there. Oh, the other semi-final, another blank in the 5th end, so it remains a 3-2 lead, Scotland over RCF. Of course, the winners of these 2 games will play for gold in the World Championship later tonight. Well, the 2 teams that lose the semis will play for bronze.
Yeah, the other 3 teams out here, other than Switzerland, all have had a good rest. This is way out here and wide and a little warm. Oh boy.
Try and just touch this ever so slightly.
That may have moved it enough to make that red-red combination difficult.
And the yellow spun, I think, just lower than the other yellow.
Could play the red in the center line to lie 3.
Ser ni? Jag ser antingen försöka öppna upp det i mitten. Eller göra den här då.
Det jag ser är att man
ligga lite gömd bakom det där. Så man
har
har 2 vägar.
Kind of tempted to make a move on that center line zone if I was getting late in the end.
Det går inte svårt att nolla.
Ja, vi går för 3 här känns det som.
Ja, precis.
Men frågan är bara vilken chans som är bäst. Om man...
Alltså, 2 vägar in känns ju rätt bra. Alltså.
Spelar man på den nu, sätter den bara där så ligger det ju kvar bra. Men det är frågan...
Ja, det är inte säkert att det ligger asbra.
Nej, lägger de den här då så är det inte så lätt.
Kör den här då.
Tror det.
Bara bak 10. Bara få lite 3/4 insida.
Ja.
Eriksson going to come in on the intern. His intern is lefty, trying to get to the inside of that red that Switzerland just tried. That is going to be one lonely yellow on the back of the button. All kinds of trouble here for Switzerland.
They are shot stone, but like you said, lonely in there.
They're shot stone, but they're not happy about it.
Deras var ju typ backline, va?
Ja, min var ju typ bak.
les noses là, je sais vraiment pas ce qu'on fait.
Till och med chappen tycker jag är bra. Chappen så kan de inte vicka in oss ändå, men någon cent till sida. Vad gäller fris? Det är bara 10 bak 4, så kanske lite mer då, eller? Ja, det här på Ralles, den gick
One of the
klar
problems
lite.
on the right-hand side for Sweden is that the two reds are pretty easy to get out. So maybe forcing them to play this side of the sheet.
Not worried to move shot stone out yet. They're just trying to add more in there, set up the angles.
Bara fart, 10 bak 4. Gå rakt. Bak 4. Kommer ner. 10 bak 4. Det är en 10. Ja, hålla igång lite. Ja, 10. Håll igång nu, Ralle. Håll igång. Håll den rakt. Japp, japp. Järnet.
Well, they get by. Now they just want to tap it, keep the angle.
Okej.
Oh boy.
Jag kan spela den yttersta.
What a mess for Switzerland.
13-6 var väl knappt 10 line nu. Là, je vois un petit quart, hein?
De ça?
Non, ça.
C'est fruktansvärt.
Ja.
Ça se fait encore. Ouais.
Freeze dessus, c'est rien.
Je sais pas, vous voulez prendre le time-out maintenant, on perd pas de temps, quoi.
Peut-être, ouais.
Ouais, très bien.
On va réfléchir là.
Early timeout called here from Switzerland. This is
Ah non, ça marche
this
pas.
is a moment that could decide the game. So they need to
Lui, pour l'instant, il fait...
make the right decision.
And not just this call, but what you're going to have with Benoit's two stones as well.
C'est vraiment dur. Si je touche ça, j'enlève ça.
On a les jaunes.
Non, je pense que c'est pas là pour nous. Très fin, ça enlève le jaune aussi,
Tu peux mettre une garde là-dessus. Hein.
Non, on va toujours toucher ça.
Hein?
Où on va là? On vient là.
J'ai l'impression que ça va être la garde. À mon avis, si on met la garde, lui, il va essayer de jouer dessus, la renaître dedans.
Haverbat Pedersen, the saunter down the ice.
C'est pas facile.
Yeah, the teams only get 30 seconds to make their way down, and Havard spent 20 of it looking at the board with their other coach at the other end. So when he gets there, they're only going to have about 40 seconds to communicate.
I guess we can make a freeze here.
Right now, this is really the problem, Rock.
Yeah. Does
I
it,
mean,
how much
all
better
three,
is
but-
freezing than, well,
Huh?
I mean, if you go here, he cannot slash because then he loses this and this.
Yeah.
And probably this
is
doesn't
the
really...
double there without moving the 6?
Huh?
Is the
No.
double there without moving the 6?
For us, no.
No. I think you're going to touch it anyway.
I mean, if I hit this and then I hit this one as well, then...
Freeze, even if you tap it, I hear?
So can we play a freeze or a half frog tap?
I mean, if we freeze here, it's probably the best.
Oh,
if
yeah,
we
for
freeze
sure.
here,
I like
better
the
than...
freeze.
It's better than
Freeze is
here.
probably easier than hitting it too.
On freeze là-dessus, il joue dessus. Mais au moins, c'est une jaune.
C'est quand même hyper dur.
Le freeze, hein?
One of the problems with freezing there,
Il y a vraiment zéro freeze.
in my opinion, is that on the other
Je pense qu'on n'a
side,
pas de choix, parce que lui, il fait ça après.
Bah, soit ça, soit la
Havard
garde.
is good friends with all the Swedish team as well, so I'm sure he's having a few words on the way by.
Si on la pousse là, c'est aussi...
But if you do make the freeze that they're calling, right in the pocket, so right dead onto that stone on the red, they've actually changed their mind because they see that the red slash on the right, the one on the center line,
J'ai presque l'impression que
if
ça
they
l'aide
throw a
si on est
freeze
ici,
right
parce que du coup, il peut
there,
venir vite.
Alors main garde, c'est le plus
It
facile.
the
goes.
red gets caught right on it, and they
J'ai
could lie 3
l'impression,
dead
si on est
buried.
là, si lui il met une bombe ici, c'est plus facile après.
C'est possible.
Tu vois ce que je veux dire?
Oui, mais une bombe, c'est pas très facile.
Team discussion needing this one.
Non, mais il voit,
Fifth end
il
of
voit en
play.
tout cas un quart, je pense, non?
Moi j'aime bien la garde.
They're going to go have a look
Ah,
again.
cinquième ici.
Ok. J'ai l'impression
Sven
que
actually
ça
went
l'aide
over to
plus
the
qu'autre chose,
left-hand
mais-
hack and sat in the other hack because Oscar Eriksson, of course, is a lefty.
See what he has left.
So from this other hack, I can see less, but you know, Oscar's so good, he'll slide a
La
little
garde là,
wide.
t'aimes pas, c'est trop
Point
dur,
it.
tu trouves?
Won't be a problem.
Genre, exactement sur le haut du T là.
Non, ça, il
Like you
l'utilise
said, Mike,
facilement.
now looking like guarding for their life.
Ouais, je sais.
Faut
Yeah,
venir
it's
soit
just
2,
an
soit
awful
freeze. Soit
feeling
ennemi, soit freeze.
against a team like Dean to just
Tu dois jouer.
guard and
Faut
hope.
jouer Pete.
Ça marche.
But
5.
this went sideways pretty quick here in this end. You know, it wasn't so bad a moment ago, but 2 misses in a row, one from
cinq.
DeCruz, one from Sven.
Non, c'est 7-8.
All of a sudden,
Là,
6, 7.
big trouble.
6 bien.
Attention.
Juste
Ouais,
freeze.
ouais.
Bocorine bien.
Juste vitesse. Ouais. Bon les gars, c'est parfait. Allez maintenant.
Oui!
Allez, pousse.
Allez, Dani! Ça passe!
Trying to get this one right in there now. Go right in.
Ça va, ça va.
Träffade du C så den
Once
ligger
the dust
kvar
settles, they
där.
figure out if they like it or
Den
not.
vägen någonstans.
And I don't know.
Well, the problem, again, like I said, where that yellow one is, even if Oscar hits it too thin, he's going to hit the yellow first and then into the reds. And it could be four buried in there. And that stone at the top 8 foot is actually a guard for De Cruz as well. So that guard's going to be also gone. So just don't know what... if this is very similar to what we were seeing over with RCF Scotland, if Team Switzerland can hold Sweden to less than 2 or less here, would be a miracle in my opinion. This has got potential for 3 or 4 written all over it. If this is made, I don't know where De Cruz goes. There's no runbacks available.
Angles lining up in Sweden's favor now. We'll try and deal a crucial blow to set this end up now for Oscar Eriksson.
Way out there.
Try to get it a little curl at the end. Gets rid of shot stone and lies 4.
And really no draws available for Switzerland, so Benoit Schwartz may be able to throw an absolute missile just off nose and maybe move 3 of those reds. Hit it just off nose, just click the top one. But
it's actually worked not bad, hitting it real thin.
Well, here's what I said, it's way out there. He only missed the guard by half an inch. But the other option is to hit it very thin, the red. Excuse me, the yellow very thin onto the middle red. Kills the back one, maybe spins the top, that red out of the 8 foot, and his shooter would stay dead buried. That's another option.
Maybe have one roll to the other side to have an in off.
Maybe, yeah, just try to get rid of some stones here.
Même un peu plus fin, un petit tiers, je pense. Moi, je pense que tu peux essayer le plus fin possible avec une pêche. Je pousse un peu. Je pense que ça va toucher ça. Peut-être, c'est ça, on arrive à l'amener juste là.
Je pense pas que ça va toucher ça là.
C'est possible, hein?
C'est possible, ça remonte. Mais si ça la monte juste là, c'est pas mal, puis du coup, on sera shot là.
Looking at whether or not the middle red at the top of the 4 foot might spin up and push that stone up and out of the ring. To have it out count, the stone at the back right as we're looking at it might end up being 3rd shot. And then you might have a chance, but this will have some speed again.
It's damage control. Part 1.
Part 1, right.
See the extension again from Benoit Schwartz.
No.
Trying to cut this one in and catches it real thin.
Not bad.
Alla ligger bättre. Han har ju den
Better than it was.
Han kan spela en mjuk take in i den också kanske.
That Yellowstone stays in a position that can be used. That was the best part about that shot.
Look at that arm extension from Benoit Schwartz.
No.
They cut that very thin.
Pretty good result, really. Couldn't have hoped for much more. It might be three max now, which is probably pretty good. Dean saying if we hit the back one, take our chances.
Ja, den är äcklig faktiskt, men den ska göras. Tycker jag. Han kan ju lämna en tangering här också om han tar lite tunt. Ja. Han har ju mindre än halva av den, så att även om man gör den så är det ju troligt att det öppnar upp sig. Gaddar vi där så är det ju troligt att han får bort 2 här i alla fall.
Looks like
jag tycker nästan det. Slår den där bakre då.
Får han bort 2?
You just hit the back and lie 4, Luke? I don't know. That seems like a good option to me.
Well, it's one where you now are forcing them to make the tricky shot to make something, or you have a chance at 3 or 4.
The challenge, of course, is that Switzerland will try to tap that stone that's at the top of the 8 foot that Benoit just raised. try to tap it 4 or 5 inches and maybe hold Edin to 2 or 3. So that's the only shot, the one on the right-hand side. If Switzerland can tap it a few inches.
It looks as though even with the tap, you might roll the shooter away, and you might have something you can run in as an option too.
That's why it's important just to throw draw weight, so your shooter doesn't roll very far. So if after this comes to rest, if Benoit can throw a decent shot here, he may be able to hold Sweden to a small bucket.
3 would probably be, Switzerland might sign up for that right now.
Well, I think if they can bump it just a few inches where Sweden still lies 2, you might see Edin take the 3. I think that'd be the best option. If they go a little deeper, Nick's going to throw some weight and try to get 4 or 5. I don't see 5 anymore, but potential 4. It's good to be red right now, Luke.
Yeah, it's definitely sitting a much better.
And of course, you can't bump it too far because those 2 reds in the middle are lined up right onto the button.
Or there's the slash on the other red. There's a couple different.
There's options for sure.
But the key was for young curlers, set up your angles, be in front of the tee line.
Yeah, and you know, when you play a game like Team Switzerland and Team Sweden are playing, you need to be precise. And the smallest little error against these world-class teams tends to come back and bite you. But if Edin, I think if I was Team Switzerland, I'd try to bump this exactly between the 2 reds at the top, where Edin can't slash the yellow in. It would get caught by the 2 that are there, the 2 reds that are there.
So not even necessarily needing to get shot, but second or third.
I'm happy to, if I'm Switzerland, I'm happy to just be top 4-foot second shot would be ideal. Looks like they're trying to bump it back button-ish, which would leave Edin some sort of slash, as you say, for a big end.
Well, multiple counters right now. Switzerland needs a Schwartz save.
Calling back 4-foot for weight.
Trying to get the right line on this one. Tap it in. Right in, second shot.
Shooter rolled too far, though. I think you're going to see Edin bring some heat off that yellow. Come off the back there, and could be for a bunch.
For 4? You probably lose 1 playing that?
Maybe lose 1. If it's thick, I think it will kick that yellow low. The spin that'll be on the shooter will kick that yellow down. I think the danger is if you hit this a little too thick, you could give up a steal if you're Edin. So it would have been hard to do much better for the depth for Switzerland. They would have liked to have their shooter curl a bit more, so this shot wasn't available to Inoff.
Jag håller med. Det är fan.
Jag tror nog det finns lite kall, va?
Det är för bra. Jag tror också det finns kall. Det är det som jag tycker är äckligt om Ash.
The shooter's going to come off with clockwise spin and it will kick the yellow back. I think Edin wants it to hit his stone in the 4-foot, so it'll kind of go below the one that's at the far left there as we're looking at it.
Träffen på den här känns det som tjock tredjedel.
Right, hit it right where that broom is with a lot of weight.
Inte tjockare än halv.
Nej, inte.
Nervous times for Team Switzerland curling fans.
Är det innan eller? Ja. Fast tar jag halv så är det lugnt tror jag. Men jag håller med. 40 räcker också.
Jag sa ni bra.
He said as hard as Benoit can throw it, Nicolas Edin is equally lethal with these.
The shot he loves to play. He can play the delicate shot, but this is his favorite.
It's his bread and butter.
We'll make this, and there could be, as you said, Mike, a bucket out there. The quiet here in the Winsport Arena before this one. Obviously no crowd, but even quieter. Nicolas Edin last of 5. Well, catch it over the top, push that one through, and there is a handful in the 5th end. Fabulous.
It was never looking good for Switzerland after 3rd stones, and Team Edin Team Sweden brings the heat on this one.
This is why they're the two-time reigning world champions. Great sweep, great line call. Hold the line, off it, spin it off the back end for 5.
There it is.
And that gives them a big 7-3 lead into the break.
Du har haft dina 14
all in after
år
4 rocks in
någonstans.
that end.
När liksom, du har sagt att
De har ju valt.
Second end of this semifinal, and you see those 3 Swedish stones in there. Benoit Schwartz has to draw in across the face to score 1.
Yeah, they had to wait for line, but Tanner makes it curl at the end and saved it.
Wow, that was definitely a saver. You crash, it's a big steal, but it's a single for Switzerland in 2. Jump ahead to the 4th end. And it was a missed run back by Rasmus Vrana. Otherwise, back and forth.
Yeah, the smallest of errors really got Sweden into trouble here, and with this open hit, Team Switzerland takes a 1-point lead heading in end number 5.
And a big point in this game. Sweden had this one set up throughout. Just set up the angles, and then to cap it off, Niklas Edin.
Yeah, big weight in turn. Shooter comes off with the extra little rotation, kicks that yellow off his own, and that's a handful, 5.
Finished off a great end by Sweden to take a 4-point lead into the break. In our feature game, that is in the 5th end break, as you saw as well. In the 7th end, we've seen back-to-back blanks. So Scotland leading RCF 3-2 still has the hammer. So that big 3 by Scotland, the only score for them, but they have the lead as we see the playoff bracket. Obviously, the 2 qualification games, Switzerland beating the US earlier today and Scotland beating Canada Friday night. They moved into these games, setting up the 2 semis. The winners of our games out there right now will play for gold tonight. The losers will play for bronze in that same draw tonight at about 9 o'clock local time here in Calgary.
Den här sidan har ju legat hela omgången nu
Ja,
också.
jag tänkte om man drar mattan, men
Ja.
tror inte det hjälper. Känns inte som att det är sån is.
Det hjälper nog lite. Men
Ja,
den
lite,
är ingen,
absolut.
den är ingen gigantisk.
Det är ungefär en paus.
Det är inte så mycket frost på banan, utan bara...
En pausomgång är tajt.
Så fight pour un bon 5.
Okay, boys. Play as good as you can.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Well, look at the numbers through 5 ends, and 7-3 is the score. But if you look overall, it's Switzerland outplaying Sweden percentage-wise by 6 points. Draw percentage 85-76, and then hit percentage as well 83-80. But really, Niklas Edin making that big shot, and that 5th end, 8 shots made by Sweden, and they set it up perfectly for the big end.
Inuti! Ouais! Oui! Assez, oui. C'est ça, on peut...
Well, that's the trophy they're all playing for. It's been Niklas's for the last 2 curling seasons. The last time the World Championships have been held. He's trying to win 3 straight and a 5th title for himself. Be Sweden's 10th. That big 5, hopefully for them, can push them there, but Switzerland has to regroup. That 5th end break couldn't have happened at a better time.
Well, you saw Havard Thought Pedersen say, just got to play our best and see what happens. Challenge, of course, is the hitting power of this team, Sweden.
Switzerland's going to have to be perfect here in the last 5.
Yeah, even, you know, you do the math, taking 2, giving 1, taking 2, giving 1. It's not, you're not going to catch up at that rate. You actually need to get 3 here somewhere, maybe get a steal. So they're going to pull out all the stops here in number 6.
So look to put these corner guards in play. 5 anytime you see on the scoreboard definitely jumps out at you. 95% on the game for Valentin Tanner.
Bien vitesse.
Juste ligne.
Sur la logo.
Vite.
Oh, oh, oh.
Bien,
Bien,
logo.
Rien entendu. Ah, excuse. Une parfaite.
Bien.
Très bien.
Super.
Ah, ouais.
And conversely, Sweden coming in will
Linjen ser bra ut. Topp 12, bite 8, okej.
low number there for Christopher Sundgren, only at 63%, but
Bra linje.
a couple of come rounds have tick guards and
Går lika vitt som här just nu. Men det känns som att...
got a tough statistician up there, I
Yeah,
think.
someone's hard on Christopher. he won't complain. He pick up a win. You're in another gold medal game.
Yeah, he just wants to win, you're right. And none of his misses have been costly.
Other than the run back by Rasmus Brano that led to the 2,
Right.
Sweden sort of controlled a lot of the play through the first 5.
They have.
Inte bjärliga.
That 5 was the 6th 5-ender scored this week. So we've seen a few of them put up by teams throughout round robin play.
Bien vitesse.
Well, the 5-rock rule leads to more offense. And you've got 2 teams that are super aggressive, and
Jawel.
saw Team Switzerland miss a couple of key freezes there in that end, and all of a sudden, that whole end, it was just one lonely stone at the back of the button. And you know, I said throwing guards and crossing your fingers is a tough strategy against this team.
78% on the game for Rasmus. But it was one of those ends where you just saw building and building and building and waiting for Switzerland to do something to get out of it, and then capped off by obviously the double that finishes the deal for Sweden.
Yeah, Benoit made a pretty good shot on his first, actually. But they're just in too deep.
So 3 perfectly lined up on the center line for Sweden.
No, okay.
Interesting thing here, you know, Switzerland is down. So, you know, playing a run back here at this stage is okay as long as you save your shooter. You have to save your shooter out front. Cannot get a big end in play without some guards. You know, if that had rolled away, you would have seen Nick go up and start peeling those corner guards. But that was a great shot by Peter.
Kör samma.
Kan lägga den bredvid den där gula också. Det är fine.
Well, no, they can't get rid of all. They're going to put the guard back out.
Yeah, exciting. Even if they come half around.
Kan det gå direkt eller? Ja,
But guard is good.
lite åt det vida kanske, men går
Seen
det?
De Cruz use this strategy as well, Team Switzerland. They've definitely played similar type of game. These teams are so used to playing the 5-rock rule under high competitive situations.
Not necessarily what you think a 4-point lead, and in your mind the first thought is you go peel, but it's aggressive. You don't want to give them a glimmer of hope at all.
Right. I mean, certainly my first instinct is to go up and peel one of those guards off, but I don't have the double ability that Team Sweden does either. So, you know, you've got the weapons to kind of get yourself out of trouble that both of these teams do. You know, and also understanding that Benoit probably isn't going to play a run back anymore. May see a slight change of gears here from Dean. That's an excellent shot, though. Wide around and good freeze.
So great angle on it still. Sweden lying shot stone right on the button.
tror det är lugnt.
Ja, det ser tajtare upp på kornen än på center, men de är ändå relativt nära höjd, så hålet är nog ändå helt okej. Okej? Bite 4 för frys.
So the problem with the guard that Dean threw, you can see that yellow with the freeze is now partially around that red guard actually. And there's a yellow run back, chance to lie 2 buried. So again, not without risk, throwing the center.
Vad gillar du för is här då? Så någonting?
So as much as the hitting ability of Sweden, seeing a lot of the draws here in end number 6, 85% of the game for Oscar Eriksson.
Kornen, ingen fara. Ja, hårt för center nu, hårt för center, håll kvar där.
This is a little tight.
12-8, hårt linje.
Go to get by.
Nej, ner. Kom igen.
Now you want to try and get it, choke off that run back.
Actually over curled a bit, so they're, you can go yellow, red, yellow and get shot, but the intern is definitely available for Sven.
Look how much that one curled. It would have been fully out the other side of that center guard.
And just beautiful ice. I mean, so nice to play on for these
Peut-être si
players.
tu tiques un peu la jaune et tu restes là. Ouais. Il faut. Si tu veux faire ça, je pense qu'il faut passer à ça de la garde si jamais. OK? Vitesse presque 8, je pense.
Just going to move, throwing back 4-foot weight, back 8-foot weight, try to move shot stone off the button.
Sven Mikkel at 78% on the game.
Ouais, c'est bien, 6-7. Ouais, oui, ouais, ouais. Oui, vraiment fort, les gars. Oui, bon. On est où maintenant? Allez! Ouais. 7, 6, 7, 8. Allez! Ouais. C'est bien, c'est bien. Continue, continue. Oh, ouais, ouais, ouais. Oui, 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 oui. Couche.
Well, trying to set up angles. They chip, roll off, and we'll get a little bit of a break that they roll off and still at angle to the button.
Yeah, not too bad there. Actually, there's 2 ways at that shot stone now for them.
Det är inte så lätt att få kvar det.
Yellow, red directly on the left, or they can go red, yellow, red on the right-hand side.
Optimalt känns som att tappa ner den lite bredvid våran. Ja, eller? Jag gillar det. Bak 4 kanske. Ja. Så eller? Ja.
Deras var 14-0. Den kändes tidigt.
Den. Bra linje.
70. Känns 10.
Vänta lite. 10. Linjen är bra.
Linjen är bra. Topp 4.
Rent.
Topp 4. 10.
Line's good. They're saying weight's good.
Linje.
Watch these guys enough, Luke, that picked up a little Swedish curling lingo over the years, right into the pocket. So that kind of takes away the left-hand side of the sheet. There's still an opportunity to maybe chisel the yellow there and roll over.
On peut faire un tap sur la rouge et décoller tout ça?
Non, après, c'est vraiment des angles vraiment pourris, je pense.
OK.
Je crois qu'on est obligé de prendre le shot assez fin là maintenant. Même si on reste là.
Benoit having a look over at the angles. You're just suggesting maybe you touch the reds. And Peter doesn't like the angles when they do that. They're going to go yellow-red on the right-hand side.
Ça change quelque chose de rester?
Hein? Non.
Je crois que rester change rien maintenant à ce niveau.
Non, ça change pratiquement rien. Le but, c'est de prendre vraiment le plus fin possible.
OK.
Alors 11,5-12 sur Pierre.
How much does seeing that overhead for a player look, especially in the hack?
Well, I can only speculate based on my sweeping experience, Luke, but I'm sure it's very helpful to the sweepers to know what angle they'd like to hit stones on and also where the rock needs to stop. Probably a better question for Jill Officer, who worked with us all week long.
Oh, I missed that, no.
Yeah, but yeah, it's certainly a benefit. It takes the guesswork out of the sweeper's mind a little bit. They're trying to hit this as thin as they can, just to chisel the yellow over. They were hoping to leave that yellow in there to lie 2. Not a bad shot though. You could possibly run that yellow, make the red double, but the Dean's going to throw some weight at this and hit the inside again. Just a couple of slight mistakes there from Sven in the last 2 ends.
3/4 insida då. Ja, jag tror även om jag smiter garden tror jag inte jag har fart. Jag tror gul bara går mot den yttre där.
Nicholas slides down, and you see trying to play that. We'll keep you up to date with the other semi-final going on. There's been 2 straight blank ends in the 7th here. Scotland and Bruce Mallett against RCF. It's another chance to blank the 3rd consecutive end.
They must have dinner reservations at none of the restaurants that are open here in Calgary.
Wanting to save some time, knowing they're going to play again today, but
8th end to play already over there.
So this will blank the 7th, keep it a 3-2 game after 7 ends, and now it's a 1-point lead for Scotland with 3 ends remaining. 2 hammers to 1 for Scotland. 85%, Nicholas matching his tournament numbers. Make the double, and we'll sit there. Again, it's a lonely yellow stone.
Pretty good shot. I think Switzerland's got to go wide out turn to get to the back of the 4-foot now. Their shot stone buried. Not the easiest in off that red stone at the top of the 8-foot, kind of on the far side as we're looking at it here, on the right. They have to miss that guard very closely in order to make the kind of the skinny red double and kill the yellow. So if Benoit can go wide around to the side of the 4-foot, pretty good chance to score 2 here. And a little mistake, maybe a chance for 3.
Well, Benoit has played well. He maybe just mishit his last in the 5th end off a bit, but he's at 90% and trails the game by 4.
Just gives you an idea of how much trouble he was in last end. Actually made 2 decent shots and still gave up 5.
Ligne parfaite.
They're saying the line's great. Need a piece of the 4-foot.
Pas mal dans le 4-pieds.
Warm. That's announced too far.
So it's 3rd shot.
Bara täcka den dragningen.
So Nicodine going, if I don't throw, the most thing gets 2.
Men det kan göra hans tvåa lättare.
Känns nice att täcka.
Where can I throw this where
Han har ingen skjutning här för
I can make
2 ser jag inte.
a score of 2 very difficult? I don't think it's hard. I don't think he can get 2 on the left-hand side of the sheet here. Switzerland.
Det kan han få ändå.
Väldigt nära här så är det stulen 1 också.
Ja.
Lägga en gard här då. Gillar du cornern där eller?
Just block that same draw.
Is på kant 4 den sidan.
Got there eventually.
No, you wouldn't think to force yourself to come into the rings?
No, they're up 4 with. There's no, or excuse me, up 4 without here. Just if they can hold them to 1. 3 up with, playing 7. Pretty comfortable situation. Nick's actually going to throw the in turn. Try to get his guard, 3.5, 4 feet off the center line.
Oscar would have to stand on the walkway to get it to playing the other turn.
True enough. Line's in the ballpark here. Oscar will go up, put his broom down, and tell the guys where they like it to stop.
Ja, gärna dra ut den nu Ralle. Får den hit. Haket. Får den hit. Så mycket curl vi kan få. Han har den fortfarande. Kom igen, ända till stopp
Tapping his broom right at the top of that OK Tire logo.
Kom igen.
Pretty good. I think he might be able to loop one around that to the side of the 4-foot, but
well, you alluded to it earlier, the way Benoit throws it. Maybe he gets out there and throws that soft release. It's a long way to go.
He's looking at whether or not they can get, if there's a hole there. Yellow onto a corner of that red at the top of the 8-foot is what they're talking about for 2.
Si tu prends l'extérieur, c'est pour 2. Ouais. OK. Ouais. Faut prendre exactement plein.
Je peux pas venir trop vite. Hein.
Non, faut pas venir. C'est pour ça que je disais 9 ou 8.
J'aime bien 8.
8, c'est bien, je trouve. Ouais. Pile en plein.
OK, 8, pile en plein.
Ouais.
Ouais, je pense que le moment où on touche ça, extérieur, c'est toujours
bon,
bien.
Ouais.
Okay.
Ça peut spinner là, mais bon. Voilà.
Exactement en plein.
Ouais.
C'est parfait, je trouve.
Ouais.
So there's a good look at it.
Ça en plein, c'est pile longue pour ça.
Just on the nose or a millimeter low of center, that yellow guard straight back onto the right-hand corner of that red stone right by Peter de Cruz.
It's not a high percentage shot.
No, not at all. And of course the danger is you hit a little high or a little low, you could end up giving up another steal.
Need to take the risk though at this stage of the game?
I think so. You lose by 1 or you lose by 9, doesn't really matter.
So last stone here in end number 6.
Whoa.
No, 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 no.
Whoa.
No, 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 no.
Attention. Whoa.
Voilà, voilà.
Voilà. Oh.
Trying to get this one to curl. Are they going to peel it out? And they're going to give up another steal. They'll come across the top. Steal of 1.
That was always the risk, but they had to play that shot.
So the miss hit means a steal, and Sweden increases their lead now up by 5, 8-3 after 6 ends.
Parallell liksom. Han skrek ju på släpp och sen bara fan den där 3 cent utanför köpen och så bara ja fan den träffar inte 3 cent utanför köpen.
Hey, turn, you're good. Turn, you're good.
Nice.
Ah, great shot, Grant.
Set 2.
Great shot, lie 2.
Just fill it, yeah. You got far enough. I thought it was good.
Чуть-чуть полегче. База. Линия короче. Линия супер. Линия. Ровно в лоб. Линия Дима. Легко, легко, Дима. Сип. Через. Минус приз. Со свипом. Сип.
Вес есть.
Сип.
Вес контакт.
Сип.
Контакт.
Воу.
Линия, 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 линия.
Отлично, Жень, супер.
Еще.
Что надо подержать, да?
Я фейм, да?
На суп прям стоит. Чуть-чуть.
Он стоит.
Top lock.
Ja.
Seventh end of semi-final time at the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship 2021. Luke Coley alongside Mike Harris, and things haven't gone Switzerland's way the last couple ends.
Have not.
Had to take that risk on to play the run back and hit her on the wrong side and gives up the steal of 1. So an 8-3 advantage here in the Winsport Arena. Winner will play for gold, loser will play for bronze tonight at 9 o'clock local time. Already been a long day for this Swiss team playing in the morning, but not finding out till a couple hours before that when this was actually going to continue today.
C'est 2. Imparfait. One more que ça. You know the.
Yeah, there was so much undecided, you know, at noon yesterday. If you told me we'd be out here, I would have taken that wager. But just a wonderful job done by World Curling Federation officials and Curling Canada, getting everyone tested and making sure everyone's safe. Obviously changing protocol today with the masks on.
Yeah, and it's obviously the health and safety of everyone here is top priority, and they definitely showed that as soon as they had it. They stopped things until they could retest everyone, get it all cleared, and now we're out here on the ice playing for a world title later tonight, which is fantastic. Obviously last year, no worlds being held on the men's or women's side. We're down to 4 teams to declare who will be the 2021 version.
Okay, on peut nettoyer.
Juste après le logo.
Juste nettoyer, Ben.
Ah, c'est sur le logo, c'est bien.
Just clean. C'est un tout petit peu trop vite. Just clean.
C'est un méga logo, mais.
Bien joué, Val. C'est un méga logo, ça.
So the 2 corners, and Switzerland has to go all out. Give themselves any chance in this game. They got to try and score at least 2, maybe 3.
Well, this point rate, yes, you're looking at the 3, give them 1, take 3. That ties it up. Coming home without the hammer. So they need 3 here right away. Nicholas Sedin not likely to cooperate.
Kändes som det var lite extra curl, men jag vet inte exakt hur sättningen var.
Absolut. Juste 4-5. Hein?
So the first 3 go into the rings, and now Peter de Cruz has to try and move them around. Switzerland will have to, as you said, Mike, try and score a couple 3s. They only gave up 1 3 all week long.
5. Je suis 5.
Ligne très bien. Easy. Ça cure trop, je pense.
Tiens, je suis 5.
Non, ligne bien, c'est bien.
Ligne bien.
Parfaite.
Full 8. Line truc.
6.
You see
5, 6, ouais, celle-là.
Même 10, c'est un peu mieux.
coming around, you see Dean start to peel some guards.
Ok, c'est bien.
Even 2 here
Bien joué.
would be fine for Team of Dean.
Yep.
Just want to get that hammer back.
Yep.
Yeah, eliminate yellow. Not a bad call here, up by 5.
Yeah, not taking the same risk they took in number 6, certainly.
On peut, hein?
C'est pas la pierre la plus facile, la plus flaine.
You know, Benoit makes his first draw. 3 was definitely in the mix there last end, so don't want to go down that road again if you're Team Sweden.
J'aime pas trop venir ici, quoi.
Comme tu veux, Ben. Je pense que c'est... Ouais.
8.
Ça marche. Lui, il n'a pas genre un méga I9 pour enlever toutes nos jaunes après. Bon, s'il le fait, ça enlève les rouges aussi. Order? Ouais. Je compte coup être leader.
Six.
Okay, je pense que c'est quand même vite.
8. Non, 8, 9.
Je monte ça un peu vite. Oh.
Attention, Val. Oui.
Très proche.
Ouais, tout le long.
Ouais.
8.
Prise de la première,
Très
7.
bien, hein?
Oh.
Prise d'autre. Oh.
Ok, c'est...
Attention.
We're trying to freeze to the back. Now they've changed gears here, going to freeze the top one.
Oui.
Look at that walk over sideways at the end.
C'est ok. C'est ok.
Not bad there.
Har vi tangering med garage?
Still gets a little bounce off that they're able to stay in front.
Kanske tunn.
Den menar du?
Ja. Bestäm du. Kan klippa garden nå.
Ja, jag gillar den tror jag.
Ja.
Oscar wanted no part of chasing anything in the rings here.
Danger one right now. Get rid of the corner. Bring everything into the rings.
Oh, and you're able to make the big doubles pretty easily. You know that Switzerland has to deal with those rocks in the rings soon.
Slide over, keep an update. The other semifinal, Scotland against RCF. RCF came in 11-2 round robin record. Very impressive showing. And without the hammer, after 3 straight blanks, facing 2, possibly 3 right now for Scotland.
Yeah, 2 rocks to come. It looks like Scotland's line 2. I would say that stone at the back, 8 foot. That's open would be third shot stone. RCF looking at possibly hitting the wide one, rolling frozen on the button. Danger here is hit this a little too thin. You're going to knock the red Scottish stone into your third shot and leave Bruce Moe to hit for 3. If you're Scotland here in the 8th end, you just want to make sure you score. Don't give up a steal. Worst case, you're 2 up, playing the 8th end, or excuse me, the 9th end, 1 hammer each. That's a pretty good situation.
Ja, nu gillar jag nog den tangeringen. Nästan att den med chapp tar ut det, men här borde
game, nice
alltid gå ut
freeze
med
there.
utsida. Tar du den
Trying to
tunnare
hit
än
a
halv
quarter
så
rock,
får
maybe
man
get
den
rid of 2
nacken.
yellows.
Okej?
The right-hand yellow and the
Den
left-hand
andra
yellow.
slår riktigt hårt så in i den där, men jag tror aldrig man får ut
Trying
den.
to put the pressure on. Need a mistake out of Sweden, but Sergei Glukov and RCF now figure out where they need to hit it. Try and make this double.
Close, trying to hit and roll frozen is the call.
Oh, roll and just glance off the
How's
top.
that?
Again, another saver.
Just so good.
As we see Oscar Eriksson also make the double.
Glukov, what a player. You know, hit this millimeter too thin. It stayed dead center. Would have been a very difficult shot for for Scotland. So a little fist pump there from Glukov, but I think there's still a double there for 2 on the yellows.
Well, Scotland will talk that one over as Sven Mikkelin, our feature game, try and find a way to keep stones around.
Problem for Scotland is if they do throw some weight at it and it over curls and clicks their own on the way by and their shooter rolls out, I believe that back yellow will steal. So they have to be a little careful to hit that yellow thinly to miss their own. There's a look at it there.
almost give up 2.
Peta ner den hit, är det okej med?
Right, really high.
Right, let's just take our one then, Bruce.
If I'm playing like down weight, I mean.
Kolla vilken träff du
Or
vill
they
ha
come
för
and
att få
take our
peten
one,
där.
and you said it, Mike. Make sure
I
you
think this
score
is
in
your,
that
like,
Scotland
barrier.
RCF game for Scotland with the hammer.
Just play it normal,
Well,
though.
I'm saying if we throw normal and try and do
Here
this,
high, yeah.
can we ever, I don't think we can ever like
Det är klart det
stick
kan
it
ju vara
and
max
lose
att de har
one.
petat ner den
Because
där
if
då,
you skiff this, you're on
Spend
here.
the hell, yeah.
That spin, this one's your one. Or if you do just stick it here, this one's going to be your one.
7/8 on the in-turn at normal looks like it catches that one and go.
I don't think so.
So Nicholas for Sweden was going to remove the top one, just play it clean.
I think a hair high was over the top.
Grippa med, spinna av den. Ja.
I think you just take your one then.
Well
So he
done.
just-
Kom igen, hela vägen, hela vägen.
Good call.
Up 5.
Bra stopp.
Red is still shot stone, so
Nice. Like 2 up.
Scotland has called a timeout. Nicholas on their feature game Sweden-Switzerland probably didn't mind you losing that red. Takes away another stone for Switzerland to hide behind.
I almost could just do that.
world champion David Murdoch
I'm
coming
worried.
down to join the discussion. Alan Hanna, who's their team coach, has worked with Bruce since they won the World Juniors, but David's the one that can contribute to the strategy.
Yeah.
It's the last Scot to win a world championship in 2009.
But just absolutely guarantee one. Stats will give us great numbers in that, right?
I think if we're playing hack weight, we're just dead nose.
Well, Benoit Schwartz played the hit. They do chip their own out.
No,
A chance
I think
at
this
a
is where
double.
you know, we can end up getting burnt here.
Yeah.
We take one, we're in a really good spot, guys.
Right in the nose, Bruce. Yep.
Hack weight right in the nose.
Throw hack or 12, wherever you like.
Hack's good there.
Great time for a timeout for Scotland.
Should just run fairly good here.
Yeah, we've thrown a couple.
Yeah, control the scoreboard.
Yeah,
Make
didn't
sure you
do much.
score. Hack weight on the nose, not trying to get too cute with scoring more than one. Obviously, trying to get 2 is a great option, but no need to take the risk. And if you're RCF, you're probably happy with that roll. Wonderful roll by Glukov. And they'll try to get 2 and 9 or 3 and try to steal their way home.
Nicholas Edin, Sweden, trying to make this double. Left side of your screen.
Almost missed it.
For a split second, you almost had me there.
Yeah.
Makes the
No.
double.
Quite heavy. Whoa, really heavy.
Now on the right, Bruce Mowat.
Still heavy.
Playing it quiet, trying to make the hit.
Still heavy, really heavy.
Right on the nose. Score their one. As their coach David Murdoch says, keep control of the game.
Well, they're 2 points ahead, 1 hammer each in theory. So that's the controlling the scoreboard theory.
Benoit Schwartz, our feature game for Switzerland. It's like to blank the end. Not necessarily what they wanted, but have to score multiple points with the hammer, and they don't here. Sweden's just been too good so far. Leading 8-3.
Nästan, jag försöker nästan hooka den här lite grann. Tyckte min första gick så jäkla rakt.
Ja, men det pratade du om inför matchen också. Att det kändes som att efter ett tag.
Ja. Om du lirar samma som du gjorde hitåt nu så borde den inte vara längre i alla fall.
Nej, den borde inte vara tokkort tycker jag inte.
Jag tycker samma är rätt okej faktiskt. Bak 4, helt okej. Känns som vi inte vill.
Oh yeah, score 2, we go home.
Probably.
All in for 3.
Nästa mitt 8 och sen topp 12 sen.
Ja.
8th end underway. BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship. A 5-point game. Sweden leads. They play defense to a T in that 7th end. For Switzerland to blank. And now Switzerland are coming all out for at least their 3. Luca here with Mike Harris, and it's tough to come back against a lot of these teams, but especially the 2-time reigning world champ.
Certainly heard Havard Pedersen in the break said we got to go all in for 3 here. It's our only chance. Even 2, he said, we're going home. Tanner having a game, 96. I'm sure he'd give up a few of his own for
4 points on the scoreboard.
For 1 or 2 points. They said that 70 for Sundgren. It's low, but nothing that's really hurt Team Sweden.
It doesn't jump out as that for myself, seeing that it keeps putting them in position, and especially the last couple ends up. Need to make sure these are in a good position in the rings.
Linjen är okej.
Ja, behöver inte gå än.
Den går väldigt vid, så är med om den sätter sig. Kommer nu.
Fortfarande bra fart nu.
Okej, fart. Kommer nu. Känns som bra linje.
Lite tight. 8.
Den kallar över lite grann. Helst inte ända ner.
8.
Ja, det är okej. Den kallar över lite för mycket. Men det är bra så. Bra har de fria också.
Deux. Un peu de place, je pense. Le plus loin possible. Hein? Le plus loin possible. Un peu de place. C'est un point court. Plutôt Svenstein. Svenstein. Ja. C'est hard.
Trying to get as much separation of those guards as possible.
Ja, typ en hack.
Ja, fart i hacket. Vad gillar du för is? Vi vill inte spela så pass mjukt att den kan bli en guard här.
And try to tick that yellow right over to the sideboards. Can't remove it from play, of course. Roll to the middle.
So the tick shot for the second. Now something they have to put into their bag.
It's only something you really play when you're up a million, which is what we're seeing here from Team Sweden. So I'm sure Rasmus is happy to try.
Just clips it ever so slightly, and
how was that?
Rolls another one in.
Pretty good.
Mycket bra.
Excellent shot.
Je pense qu'il enlève les gardes de toute façon, donc.
Comme ça.
Well, it's looking like a tough one for barring a great comeback by Switzerland, a long way back. But you can see the number. They have 3 bronze medals at the Worlds. Olympic bronze medal. One of their Worlds they lost to semifinal in 2017 where they won bronze to Niklas Edin. They lose to him in the Olympic Winter Games. At what point does that get stuck in your brain to try and get over? It's
immediately gets stuck in your brain, so it's annoying. You know, the funny part is when you look at the seeding, not that any team's easy out here, but certainly Switzerland, the reason they're playing Nicodine is because they weren't at their best in the round robin. They ended up being out the 6th seed, and you know, you always have an uphill battle to climb regardless of who you're playing in the playoffs. But I'm sure when they saw that matchup, and if they could have chose between Sweden and RCF, you know, much less experienced team, they would have chosen the other.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had the memories as well.
Right. But you know, a team like Edin, you know, they're going to be out here. They're going to be prepared. And they're hungry. You know, they seem to find their form here in the playoffs. This goes back to 2018 too with Pyeongchang, how impressive it was for John Schuster to beat Team Sweden in that gold medal game after beating Team Kui in the semi.
Yeah.
So, you know, he did something that is extremely difficult to do.
Well, and that loss by Sweden is part of the motivation now pushing to next year as well. They're
certainly
looking to try and win a 3rd straight Worlds. Couldn't see them, not determined yet, but going to the Olympics for Sweden, can't see another team going for them. And chance to go in as 3-time reigning world champions.
Right, and as you mentioned earlier too, this law. The other thing with this loss for Team De Cruz is that they now have to play a playdown in Switzerland against Team Schwaller.
Nice.
Well, it plays the double off their own, kills the one on the side, so there's no pocket. This is just turning into a hitting clinic right now.
Nice.
You know, it wouldn't be that much different if Switzerland was ahead either. Both these teams have all the shots, and Oscar Eriksson 89. That, you know, made that triple in the third end when they were in a little bit of trouble. Got out of the end with the blank. And
key shot in that fifth end when they did score 5. He made a key shot and a miss by Sven Mikkel.
Correct.
Find any way to keep any stones around.
Bara cleara en utsida tror jag.
Ja.
Okej. Rent. Roll in. Ovanför den där. Bra.
Fin.
Not wanting to stick around, so it is still Sweden lying 3.
Trying to go around that corner again.
Throw the right way. They will bury right in behind.
On peut rien faire. 9. Peut-être trop vite.
Might be too heavy, is what
Peut-être trop vite. Si ça reste, faut finir, mais.
Benoit does not want to sweep this.
Well, going deep.
Just hangs it on the back.
Ligger 3. Är det nästan en nära gard här eller?
Ja.
Jag kan spela ut tangeringen så, men då är det ju öppen.
That red stone, however, on the left is third shot, so Dean's actually looking at maybe drawing another one in there.
Han kan lira väl tangeringen så. Ja. Gillar den nära gard eller? Kan dra här också.
Or drawing to the back.
Dit är okej också.
Also good.
Vad själv känner.
Drar vi en här. Dubbel i mitten är så
Han fryser här. Draw the back, it takes it right out. Doesn't matter what happens.
Då måste han göra någonting centralt.
Ja. Kör du, känner.
Ja, gillar garden. Okej. Bra så.
Or throw the guard.
Yeah, gonna guard shot stone. You probably see Benoit come in off that wide yellow. Try to make the in-off double. If the guard's made, they need 3. The only way to get rid of those shots in the 8 foot with the guard out front is to come in off the side. If they come off the red in the rings, it'll open up 4th shot rock at the back, so I won't do that.
Look at the skips, and obviously Benoit's gone down on a good start to the game, but 79% to Nicholas Edin at 89. Sweden in their side were trending upward heading into the playoffs, where it was Switzerland, and they won their last. They just got in because of a Norway loss to Scotland.
True enough. You know, we did our last round robin game, and we had interviewed Peter de Cruz, and Norway was up 3 on Scotland and looking like they were going to miss the playoffs. And you know, Peter was quite dejected at the time, and Scotland scored 4 in the 8th end in that one and turned that game around to let Switzerland into the playoffs, in fact.
C'est juste qu'on l'ouvre. Mais on peut faire avec la jaune. Peut-être qu'on a une petite chance avec la rouge après.
On voulait faire après.
C'est vrai.
Freeze et après le.
So Sven sees the in off the yellow.
He was listening.
Non, non.
Avec un peu de chance.
Oui, non, je pense.
Si on fait ça, il y a une petite chance. Ouais.
On fait le freeze, Pete. Comme on a dit, je pense. Non?
C'est freeze sur la deuxième. C'est sûr que ça, c'est de toute façon caché si tu fais le I9. C'est vrai. Si on est là, il ne peut pas vraiment l'enlever, ça fait que le run back, mais il prend le petit risque.
Fais ça.
Le I9, c'est un tiers.
À côté, collé à côté de la rouge, la première.
Regarde, attention, il va faire un I9 maintenant. Un tiers, c'est proche.
Non, 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 Pete, on fait le freeze, je crois.
Fais ça. Ok. Ouais, je dirais notre seule chance pour 3, c'est probablement ce I9 là. Moi, je pense qu'on peut faire. Sinon, lui, il vient n'importe où dans la maison, en fait, c'est juste, puis on met max 2 à coup de pierre, vachement difficile.
Ok, alors faisons ce. C'est quoi, moitié, hein?
They're saying the only way to get 3 is come off the yellow.
Ok.
Poil plus fin.
Ok, ouais.
Onto the top one or the back one?
Either or, just stay buried.
Ah ouais, un tiers, je pense c'est bien.
So they might have a little bit of a chance. Kind of grasping at straws here in number 8. You could theoretically get both reds moving if you hit it exactly right.
This real thin off it, off the side into one of them. And does, but goes over the top. Just millimeters off of hitting that where they wanted to.
If they don't throw, now one is the most. Just I did that little thinner, save the yellow. But, just been a clinic here by Team Sweden in this semifinal.
Well, it was a 9-3 win in the Olympic Winter Games. It was a 6-5 game at the 2017 World Championship semifinal between these two teams. It was looking like we might get closer to the 6-5 early in the game.
Well, certainly through 4 ends, yes. Switzerland up 3-2. But 6 unanswered points so far. These last couple is not that Switzerland hasn't made shots, it's just Sweden's made it very tough on them. A couple of small errors, middle of the, up the middle with Peter and Sven. And they've been chasing the whole game, it seems.
So draw, take your one, and maybe get rest and
go get some dinner. Yeah.
Get rest for the bronze medal game, because this would be either game tonight would be the third of the day for Switzerland.
Right, the only team out here that is facing that challenge.
So let's play this out-turn draw. Get a single point.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay.
You see the broom taps coming out already.
Congrats. Good luck.
Another tough one to swallow. It'll go down even more of a lopsided one, but it'll be a loss. It'll be 3 there for Sweden.
Congrats. Good luck in the first.
The broom taps in Sweden will have a chance to defend another world title. Chance for Niklas Edin to go for 5, and this team to go for 3 straight world titles.
Yeah, pretty dominant performance by the 2-time defending champions. Looking good heading into the final.
So it'll be an 11-3 final score. They'll get some rest. Just under 3 hours, they'll be back out on the ice for the World Championship final.
Ralles här också kallar ju den, jag tycker den ser bra satt ut, men den kallar ju över liksom den här linjen liksom med kant 12. Så därför jag garderar lite. Jag sa,
well, with our semifinal ending, we'll slide over and determine who will be playing Sweden for the gold medal and who will be playing Switzerland for the bronze later today. Over on sheet D, 4-2, Scotland leading.
As long as we guard some of this, he's never having that.
I think the only way he gets 3 is if you try and play something here, Bruce.
Okay.
I think we just guard and he's maybe just got this, but
yeah, that's fine. Still got to make it.
Exactly.
So this the final 2 stones. Last stone for Bruce Mowat after they scored 1 in the 8th.
Yeah, exactly. That's just an inch more ice, Bruce. You don't want to hear more, no.
Yeah, I can take a half another inch, right? We can just touch everything here's good, eh?
Yeah, that should be good.
Guard up there is top of the 4-foot, forcing a tough draw to see if they can get there for a second point. Obviously in a nice position coming into this end, a 2-point lead and
got through it, Bobby.
1 hammer each. But guard this up, try to get the force.
Line's great. Just halfway. Line's really good.
Halfway.
Clean.
Line's
halfway.
Clean.
Line's perfect.
Clean.
Curl.
A wee bit of curl,
You're
Hammy.
okay. You're
On
okay.
you go, curl.
Getting fairly
If you're
tight.
halfway, you're
Whoa,
great.
clean. We're 2/3.
Curl.
Curl. Curl.
Clean.
2/3.
Clean. That's that. Clean. Clean.
Well, leave no hole up the middle, and nicely done by Scotland. So Sergei Glukov Not sure if they could get by. They have to play very close to that corner guard because of the late finish, and we'll see how much it curls. Scotland didn't think it was, said it might just be there. They might have to play it off that red one and roll in a little bit, but you also don't want to over curl and tap them up to give them a steal. So the last here, 9th end. RCF, 2 losses all week in the semifinal sudden death playoff. Well, all about the line. Got to try and get this full 4 foot. Got to hold the line. Can't tap up that redstone. Trying to tap and roll over. Do they roll it in enough? They won't spin it in. Needed a little more weight to get the spin. And Scotland gets their force. A single point by the RCF. And a 4-3 lead. We'll head to the 10th end. Scotland will have the hammer and the lead, trying to get to this championship final.
I think the guard made him be a tough shot, and it will be deal with.
Exactly. Надо брать, блядь, можно конец 4, блядь, не нужен этот и так, чтобы точно проходить, захватывать.
Я уже там кричал, что есть линия, что можно терять.
Значит, таким вертолетом все равно завалил.
Блин, какие-то пелесюшечки вообще не доходят. Не везет.
Ладно, но я закрутил посильнее.
Пробуем украсть.
Еще много, Серег.
А?
Много еще.
Времени много. Да. Не щетки, времени.
Ладно, я посижу.
Да, до 25. 25? 23, да, наверное.
So the 10th end, RCF, Scotland, BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship inside the Winsport Arena. And the RCF trailing 4-3, trying to get these centerline guards, Anton Kalal. That one will over curl, and not really a guard in position.
What do you think? You can try and take it with a solid hat.
Yeah, in turn pretty far.
So, do you like in turn?
Across the face.
Yeah.
Just try and paper.
Don't like that.
You don't like it?
Okay.
Out turn's fine.
Out turn's fine, yeah, I'm okay out turn, Bruce. Bruce, out turn.
Solid hack and just try and paper. Сейчас нам помогут сами.
Hammy McMillan, the lead for this Scottish team.
No.
Carl.
Bronze medalist in 2018.
Fine, Hammy. That's all right.
They were worried about playing the tick, and I was surprised they wouldn't. Worried they might tick it and roll to a center for RCF. Now seeing the strategy, putting them a little bit off center.
Сам. Сам пока шестой, может подождать надо.
Стой, дом никак нельзя.
Это дом.
So they're trying to position these two in a good spot, as we obviously saw our feature semifinal end early. Winner of this will play Sweden for the World Championship here in the Winsport Arena. Luke Coley with Mike Harris, and quick few ends in the middle of this game. And now Scotland has the hammer, full control in this game.
Yes, and with the corner guards in play already, you know, as long as Scotland's able to not make any significant errors, we're going to see Scotland with some sort of shot to the 4 foot to win. A couple of nice tick shots there from Hammy McMillan.
I'll take that. Happy with that.
I'll take that, says Hammy.
Good sweep, Grant.
And rolls out, ideally.
Yeah, wide open ring, so nice and clean for Scotland.
Hammy McMillan thanking his cousin, Grant Hardy, for the excellent sweep.
Dmitry Mironov, the second spot for this RCF squad. This will be their best finish by a long shot. Last was 9th, was their best finish before.
Well, you know, when we talk about teams representing RCF at the World Championships, we always think of the women's program, you know, with Sidorova and Kovaleva. Just excellent, excellent teams. And Glukov trying to put the program on the map on the men's side. And doing a pretty good job of it, I must say.
And this game, we've been keeping an eye on it as well throughout that other one. But there's times in this game where if he doesn't make his last, they might be done as well.
I feel like we've been saying that for 13 games. You know, everything, oh my gosh, look at this shot, look at this shot, look at this shot. And I said, he's, Sergei Glukov is the MVP of this tournament for my money. Just absolutely stood on his head most of the week. And, you know, really, you know, we saw that excellent freeze against potential 6-ender in the third end. Keep this one close. And Scotland scoring 3 of their 4 points in that one end and could have been over early.
Yeah, and you're lucky maybe they simplified it in those blank ends. I didn't see how they started, but could be one where you're playing, you know what, let's get this close and let's get to the end. And
you'd be a little gun shy after playing a freeze against 6, wouldn't you, I think? And, you know, to be honest, Mowat's quite comfortable playing it open like this. They like controlling the game, tied with, up 1 with, that type of thing. Bobby Lammy.
Oh boy, nice end.
Unbelievable sweeper. He and Hammy and Lammy, the front end for Team Scotland. Bobby's been with Bruce all through juniors. Won a World Junior Championship together.
Yeah, and Hammy McMillan actually won as the alternate with Kyle Smithwell when they won in 2013. They actually beat Sergei Glukov's team in the final that year.
So not unfamiliar opponent here, is what you're saying.
Exactly. I got there just eventually.
Well, after Pyeongchang, you know, the Scottish program completely revamped, and the teams were actually asked to split up. I actually thought Bruce Mowat would stick with his junior team, who was being very successful, but picking up Grant Hardy at third really changed everything for this team. Grant is just a world-class talent. You know, it's one of those guys like Oscar Eriksson who just seems to make all the big shots.
Yeah, and the mix is, he plays the peel. The mix with him and Bruce have worked very well. A very cohesive unit on the back end with that peel on Grant Hardy's.
Another excellent skip in his own right, much like Sven Mikkel joining Team de Cruz. You know, Grant won the World Mixed Championship a few years ago and beat Canada in the final in Chambéry. Was overcoaching in Scotland leading into those games for 2018, and there were 2 or 3 good teams. Obviously David Murdoch and Tom Brewster and a couple of others, as we know, Kyle Smith, who ended up skipping the Olympic team there and went to the Scottish Championship, and Grant Hardy was leading the playoffs. Who's this Grant Hardy kid? And talked to Hammy, of course. That's my cousin. He's a great player, and sure enough, as soon as they got together with Mowat, it's been instant success.
Yep.
Won a Grand Slam as well. First Scottish men's team to do so.
Well, keeping that simple. This off to the side. Nothing threatening. Obviously, RCF want to try and get Scotland to lie too. As you see, the 4 sheets still out there. We're over on sheet D. Both semifinals playing at the same time. Sweden winning earlier, our feature game.
I suspect Glukov will try to throw one more guard, maybe a little closer to the center line than it's been. If Mowat peels, you probably see Glukov try to block the middle, throw one right on the top 8-foot on the center line, force Bruce to go wide.
Sergei Glukov having success here on the men's stage here for the first time.
Looks like they're actually coming in here.
Сам едь, сам едь. Отличное место.
Сам.
Очень валится сильно.
I'll come in, try and lie two.
Очень сильно привалился.
Нормально, нормально. Они вряд ли будут.
So now with that, Bruce play a freeze.
Sure, make a good freeze here. You know, Glukov will play the freeze back, but you won't be faced with the loss.
You mentioned it, Mike, third end, and that Yellowstone in the back, that was the freeze by Glukov that left Bruce Mao at a draw for 3.
And they did well to get this to curl enough.
We're good, we're good. Short, Bruce.
That's really been the difference in this game.
Yeah, that Yellowstone in the back, that was a good hold to 3.
The happy 3, if there's such a thing.
So those two on the wide side, those Yellowstones for RCF. They'd love to be able to force Bruce to throw against the potential winning points.
Line's great.
But a freeze here takes that away.
Line's perfect. Here.
That's why I thought they might throw the guard again and trick Bruce into peeling.
We're heavy.
Are we?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got huge. It's coming down.
Thanks, Bruce. Nice throw. Good effort. Good buddy.
Well, just in front, needed to be shot stone.
Glukov will tap that back and lie 3, try to roll to the right a hair. I think it's worth doing, and then I think Bruce will pick one turn or the other and draw to the button. He'll probably ask his team which one they like. I'm sure he has an idea already what he wants to do.
Yeah, as a skip, you'll have that in your mind of, I just want to have access to the forefoot. Win or lose in this game, that's what a week it has been for Sergei Glukov.
Yes.
Qualified his team for the Olympics as well.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Across it, lie 3.
Anton.
Certainly 2 anyway.
Got to move it far enough.
Okay.
Very nice.
So Bruce just threw the out-turn draw.
He won't draw over there though. He'll either hit it or he'll draw the button. One of the two. Either turn is good. Bobby Lammy will come down and clean up the path.
14-1. Yeah, I was going to say even a high 14 you'll be good.
Yeah, just a couple, Bruce.
Aim for 14-5 again.
Does that discussion await?
14-5. You know, just a tribute to the ice making here in the bubble. 14-5 is what it is at the start of the game. 14-5 on the last rock of the semifinal. Amazing.
And it was at the start of the event to the final Sunday here. Trying to get back for Scotland to a World Championship final, first time since 2012. Chance to win their first since 2009, and David Murdoch.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hammy liked it.
Wheel me, boys.
Easy. Yep.
Line's okay on
Well, we'll put it in the hands of
Just over
Hammy and Lammy.
You're probably a hair now.
Keep it clean.
Clean. Just clean.
Guide this one full 8 foot and a spot in the final.
14-1 should be fine.
Clean it in, boys.
That boy, Bruce.
Come on.
Well, right down, and Scotland will have that chance. They'll have a chance to win the world title with that win. Yeah, Scotland, you can celebrate a big win. David Murdoch, their last champion in 2009. Was Tom Brewster the last Scottish skip to get to a final? 2012, 5-3, Scotland win. They will take on Sweden in the gold medal game tonight.
I don't think I've ever been so nervous throwing a machine.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
I could tell you weren't overly keen on throwing it.
Huh?
Tell you weren't overly keen on throwing it.
That's great.
Cool. Cheers.
Our feature semifinals, Sweden, Switzerland. And the fourth end of this one, it was a narrow miss on a run back. Rasmus Vrana played it perfectly after by Switzerland, and Benoit Schwartz chance to cap it off. It's the open hit and stick to score the deuce and take the lead. In the fifth end. Fifth end, and it just lined up the whole end, and Niklas Edin set up the angles perfectly. Slight off by Benoit Schwartz.
Yeah, a couple of misses, but no mistake from Nick Edin. We saw a couple of great shots from Schwartz earlier, and Nick had the goods there as well.
Sixth end of pressure put on by Sweden, and forcing the long run back. Had to be so precise with this one.
Yeah, this just ran a little too straight for Team Switzerland. They were in kind of desperation mode, gave up the steal, and it was close to handshakes at that point, and they went 8, but Sweden just too tough.
Yeah, they played a solid second half after they got that 5, and on to another World Championship final for Niklas Edin. And these how are the semifinals wrapped up. Sweden 11-3 winners over Switzerland, while Scotland knocks off RCF 5-3. So that sets up our bracket into the final. As we got to, before we get to the bracket, these are how the round robin played out. Sweden and RCF 11-2, top 2 in the standings. Then the US, Canada and Scotland, and Switzerland, the top playoff teams, the top 6. Italy and Norway 7-6. Then Japan 6-7, Germany 4-9, and then Denmark 3-10, and 3 teams all tied at 2-11, Netherlands, Korea, and China. And that's how the 23 round robin sessions to set up this, the playoff bracket. United States losing to Switzerland and Canada losing to Scotland, so that set up our semis we just finished. Sweden beats Switzerland, so into the gold medal. Well, they'll take on Scotland, who won 5-3. Switzerland RCF will be the bronze medal at the same time tonight as we declare the medalists and who will be world champion in 2021, Sweden or Scotland, tonight.
Well, Niklas Edin coming in off a big win here in the semifinals. Nick, maybe take us, first of all, back through the last 36 hours. Been a pretty crazy time. How did your team manage to stay focused?
Yeah, I think we like getting some time going into the playoff games and regroup and stuff, but now it was borderline too much time, and then we didn't really know what was happening yesterday. So just a lot of waiting, basically, just 10 hours of lying in bed waiting and try and do what you can, but you couldn't leave the room. So it was a little bit tricky, but I think we really focused today and really came together as a team early on when we got to the arena and felt like we were here to win. And then obviously the 5 was the big one.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. Not only the 5, but certainly coming into the game, you look sharp right from the first end, and you know, obviously feeling good coming into the playoffs. How do you feel moving forward now?
Yeah, I think we have grown through this tournament. I think we had a decent start actually for us. We're usually slow starters, so we weren't too surprised by losing a couple of games. We had a lot of tight games early on, won a lot of them in the extra end too. But I think after that we really came together as a team and started playing a lot better. And then just going into the late ones now, we just talked about being really precise in everything we do. And I think we haven't made a lot of big mistakes at least, and I think that's key.
Well, thanks for your time, and good luck in the final tonight.
Thank you so much.
So our final is set. It is Scotland against Sweden. For Mike Harris, myself, Luke Coley, thanks for watching the BKT Tires and OK Tire World Men's Curling Championship.
Inte Bjärliga. Nej, jag ser vi. Kan brödsten där.